and welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where by the close of play this evening, we will have our completed lineup for tomorrow evening's finals night. Before we tuck in to the Group B action, though, let's have a little look back at what happened when Group C reached its conclusion earlier on this afternoon. It wasn't to be for Kieran Tian at the Super Series this week. The young Irishman was the first weekly winner here in Portsmouth, but this win over Fallon Sherrick, one of just 3 in Group C. Danny Van Tripe was at the Live Lounge until the early hours of Friday morning, cheering on Jeroen Mioch. This win over Tian, the only thing he had to cheer about on the second day in Group C, though. Carl Wilkinson started day 2 with a 4-2 win over Danny Van Tripe. It wasn't the highest quality encounter, but temporarily kept Wilkinson's realistic hopes alive. Fallon Sherrick was the only player to hit a 3-figure checkout this morning, and she hit 2 of them, this 114 to go with a 104 earlier in the session. Adam Atkinson required 2 legs from his match against Carl Wilkinson in order to book his spot at finals night and ended his opponent's chances with a 94 average and 50% checkout success. He did better than that, winning 4-1. But Group C ultimately belonged to this man. Debutant Dylan Slevin won 9 successive games, topping the group with a running average of 92, over 40% checkout success, and the fearless youngster is certainly going to be a real threat come finals night, isn't he, Paul Nicholson?
Isn't he just? What a find. I love his attitude, I love his action, I love everything about him, and the fact that you can win 9 straight games in a group like that just goes to show what he's capable of. This is just the start for him.
Indeed. Adam Atkinson, of course, the other player to come through from Group C. We can take a look at the league table and how that finished here this afternoon. Fallon Sherrick, of course, just missing out in the end, but certainly a lot of positives for her to take heading to the Alexandra Palace on the 20th of December.
Oh, absolutely. There was a lot of really good stuff in there. Her action looked solid. It looked nice and rigid. Often when, from a coaching perspective, when you look at somebody's action and how sharp they are, it's not just about what they're hitting on the dartboard, it's about how the action looks. Looks good to me, and she's got enough time between now and then to get things really pinpoint. But there were a lot of really bright sparks about this group, but Dylan Slevin was fantastic. Everybody else just wasn't really at the races. As far as Adam Atkinson is concerned, though, still going under the radar, still not playing his best stuff, but hopefully saving his stuff, the best stuff, for Saturday night.
Yeah, he did say he's got a little bit of a leg injury, didn't he? Struggling with an old ACL injury that he'd sustained. Do you think that'll be an issue for him tomorrow night? I
don't think so. When you've had something like that happen to you, you just have to adapt. Whether it's the footwear that you use, the stance that you create for yourself. He's talked about that with you today. As long as he's comfortable with his right leg on the floor, then everything else should be fine.
Indeed, as I mentioned, 3 more spots to be filled here this evening in Group B. We can take a look at the league standings at the halfway point, and it is, of course, Chaz Barstow, Peter Jacques on 6 points at the moment. Ben Robb, the other player currently in the qualifying spot. It was a disappointing evening for Ben Robb by his own very high standards, it has to be said, but certainly positives that he still managed to pick up 4 points despite being nowhere near his best.
Positive that he's got 4 points, and if he thinks the way that I do, which he probably does, having this first game of the night gets him in a qualifying position with a buffer if he picks up the win in the first game. But on the same token, he's looking at his opponent saying, okay, you could be on the same points as me post this game. That's what makes Group B actions so cutthroat and so brilliant to watch.
We're going to take a little look at the stats from last night in Group B. One thing I want to mention, though, of course, we have just been watching the football as well. And Jeroen Mioch is someone who, when the Netherlands equalised, I have never heard a screech like it. I didn't know what was on the screen, to be honest, but it was thankfully just the football. He averaged just over 86.5 for the day. Chaz Barstow, though, over 94. Really impressive.
Yeah, Chaz giving himself more opportunities with the better average by around 8 points. But when Jeroen is getting to the doubles, that hasn't been a problem all week long. He fixes his scoring just like Chaz has got. We've got a player on our hands. This is a great night of darts ahead.
It certainly is. And first up for you, we do have Prakash Jiwa up against Robb, of course. This one, Robb won it yesterday, and it felt like a really important victory for him to get those 4 points on the board. Do you see him coming through this one to start his evening off?
Oh, this is a really difficult one to call. We think about the level that Prakash brought in his first couple of games yesterday. It looked really good, sharp. He's going to have the confidence. But I think the nature of the Group B action tonight, he's going to have to get out the traps and stay there if he's going to get the top 3.
Yeah, and the thing we said about Prakash as well is he did average 99 in his victory over Mioc yesterday, and he is capable of producing those high standards. But when you look at his performances on the Challenge Tour, they can range quite drastically, can't they?
Yeah, consistency is going to be key tonight, but on top of that, maybe a little bit of explosiveness. He may need something with 3 figures just to get the right amount of wins tonight.
Right then, really looking forward to this first match of this evening session. Let's hand over to Chris Mason to get things underway.
Thank you, Abby. And yeah, sit tight if you thought the football was exciting. Well, let's hope this is equally as exciting. Here is Robb from New Zealand, Auckland. Will be playing in his 3rd PDC World Championship. Gets underway next week, of course. And this man will be making his debut at the fine age of 52. Fair play. He was around when I was playing. I've been retired best part of 12 years, and he's still grafting away, and he's going to eventually live his dream and grace that Ali Pali stage. What a wonderful story. Won the Indian
first
qualifier.
Leg, it's Ben to throw first. Game on.
Beating another player, Paul Nicholson, who's graced that Ali Pali stage in Nitin Kumar.
Yeah, Nitin was a big favourite going into that qualifier, and a lot of people, including Nitin,
85.
were expecting him to qualify again to try and get that first win on the London stage. But Prakash got in the way, and now, before he even goes there, he's trying to get himself off the basement
100.
of the table into the top 3 where Robb is currently.
Well, although he only picked up the 1 win last night, Prakash, that is as well
81.
as I've seen him play. The 99 average he had, which was, what match number it was, that.
60.
It's when he played Jeroen Mioch
Yes.
in game number 5.
Yeah, bang in the middle.
And there were
41.
6 darts at a double in the whole match, and they were all hit.
Yeah, he was 4 out of 4. Mioch was 2 out of 2. Took out a finish of 116 to win it, and an average of 99.
100.
And I know he has had averages above and beyond that, but for me, the fact that he ended with an
58.
average of 88 for the night tells me he is in really, really good nick, and he's going to be a danger. Yes, his levels fluctuate. In this match, he averaged 85.
41.
In his opening match of the session, he averaged 88. Then he had that 99 I mentioned, and then had an 84. So it's very up and downy.
81.
It is a bit up and down, but it's really important for us to emphasise that the form that players like Robb and Prakash Jiwa, who are both going to the Ali Pali,
140.
this
Then you
is a
require
guide of how they're playing right now.
155.
There's still time between now and, well, when you think about Ben, it is now 6 days
59.
Yeah,
until he plays.
Prakash
Some little
requires
fine
60.
tweaks can be made in between that time. It's a long time in darts. 6 days. It's a lot of hours of practice.
Double 10.
Game shot.
Prakash takes the first leg, and it is
Prakash
against the
Jiwa.
throw
Well,
in 6 visits.
his doubling last night wasn't bad at all. It's 33.33, which is sort
Second
of
leg, it's Prakash to throw
the bare
first.
minimum
Game on.
for elite level play. Incredibly, the man who is in second spot, Peter Jacques, had the lowest. But of course, there was that
60.
monumental match where, incredibly, Peter Jacques missed 25 darts at a double.
And won.
And won. Yeah.
121.
That's what makes it even more bizarre.
We can laugh about it now because it was kind of funny at the time when it was happening, but the guys were going through the mill.
Yeah, they were going through the ringer.
100.
But yeah, overall, I have to be impressed with Prakash and the way he's arrived. He must have, well,
140.
one of those kind of guys that just doesn't feel pressure. I mean, he's got so much experience, and as he said in that great interview with you yesterday, that listen, he's played in the PDC, he's played against the best regularly. He fears no one. He just
60.
gets up there and plays his darts. If they go, they go. If they don't, they don't.
He lives in a county in England that has provided some of the hardest
44.
local stuff in all of the UK, arguably in Europe. Coming through players over the last 30 years like Andy Smith, Steve Beaton, Trina Gulliver,
140.
Kevin Painter right now. I could go on and on and on. Kevin Dowling, Colin Fowler. Honestly, the list is endless.
140.
Colin Fowler
Prakash
was some
require
player.
141.
I think he's one of the best players that never really made it. Honestly, I played him a couple of times and I was terrified of him because I knew of his reputation.
60.
This is a
Ben,
good
you require
response
56.
from Ben Robb. Had his throw broken in leg one. Is it possible?
Game shot on the
Anything
second
possible?
leg.
It
Ben
is a
Robb.
14 dart. Instant break back. He was a big favourite for this one. Even after last night, when
Third leg, it's Ben to
may
throw
have got their
first.
fingers
Game on.
burnt with some of Prakash's performance, they still went 4-11 about Ben Robb, 2-1 Prakash Jiwa.
I've got a really interesting
98.
social media bit of content for Ben Robb. You know, when people say that it's officially Christmas when the Coca-Cola truck advert comes on.
100.
How about you do that, but on the side of the truck you've got a picture of Ben Robb. So the big rig is coming.
I like it.
78.
Creative.
I know there's going to be a lot of people in New Zealand who are starting their weekend right now, watching on the MODUS Super Series YouTube
5.
channel. And if that's the case, good morning to everybody in NZ. Have a great weekend, and I hope you enjoy the action
121.
this morning. But for most people who are watching in Europe, it's a very good evening. Hope you're having a very good night. If you're tuning in from the
99.
Netherlands, commiserations after losing that quarterfinal to Argentina. Thrilling action today with Croatia going in through Brazil.
38.
But this is a very international flavour here tonight as well. We've got England, we've got New Zealand, we've got the Netherlands and India out of the 5 players here in Group B.
139.
Not to mention you've got Checkpoint Charlie on that stage there. Charlie Costafino, referee
40.
all week
Prakash
long, doing a
require
fabulous job.
158.
Well, with the mention of Warwickshire darts, of course, they have produced quite a few world champions, ones that we may forget.
120.
Sean
Ben,
Dowling,
you require
the world youth
126.
champion, as was Martin Watmore, Steve Beaton, of course, and Ted Evitts.
Oh, yeah. Good
Ted
call.
Evitts is a
46.
Warwickshire boy.
Prakash
You would
require
love to share the
38.
commentary box with Ted Evitts because all he ever does is talk about food.
Game shot on the third leg.
Beautifully done from
Prakash Jiwa.
Prakash, and we just love a break of throw in this game. That's 3 in a row now. And
Yes, one of them's got to just take the
Fourth
game
leg,
by
it's
the
Prakash to throw first.
scruff
Game
of the
on.
neck.
one thing you won't like about Ted Evitts, by the way, Chris, is that he makes his own chocolates.
Oh my goodness.
He makes this
100.
raspberry and prosecco truffle.
Any good?
It's the kind of chocolate that makes your eyeballs roll back into your head. He was handing them out at the
98.
last Pro Tour weekend in Barnsley, and people were asking for more. It was like a scene from Oliver Twist.
100.
Warwickshire, of course, one of the oldest counties, first established in 1974.
100.
I got my first ever county win against Warwickshire as well
Yeah, I
in
think-
January of 2000.
I think my pal Neil Pritchard is still involved. Steve Hine, another one. Kevin Dowling, playing
100.
his trade on the seniors. Prakash Jiwa actually has played 157 times for Warwickshire.
That's
Tom
incredible.
Aldridge wonderful player.
84.
Nick Gedney. Another
Oh, yeah. Now you're talking.
player from Warwickshire.
You love going down these routes, don't you? Talking about all county teams.
Jamie Hughes, of course, he
43.
plays for Warwickshire.
I didn't know whether he played for Warwickshire or
He
was West Midlands.
Yeah, he did originally, but he's played a lot of darts for Warwickshire's, of course.
97.
Tom Aldridge, a
Prakash
really
Jiwa
close pal of his,
158.
decided to play for Warwickshire. He went close to this, didn't he, the 158. He's not going to do it this time, but Ben Robb, with work to do
98.
on 122.
Ben, you require 122.
Ben's problem here, apart from the fact that he's not going to take this, is that Prakash Jiwa could get very close to him
81.
in the table with a sizable
Prakash
win.
requires 60.
They're currently 6 legs apart in leg difference and only 2 points. Jiwa could be 3-1 up with double 15.
45.
Turned out to be,
Ben, you require
no pun intended,
41.
because of the football tonight, just a little bit messy.
Game
Just
shot on the
about
fourth
found the
leg.
9, no
Ben Robb.
problem. And that is yet another, a 4th consecutive breaker throw. Yeah, sometimes my in-depth
Fifth leg, it's Ben to
analysis
throw
and research
first.
can get
Game
a
on.
little OTT in the fact that I know Prakash Jiwa amongst those 157 appearances for Warwickshire. He's had 19 Man of the Match awards.
85.
That's incredible, though. Imagine that. All my
in that county, that's some going.
All my Man of the Match awards came in the B, and I only
94.
got 5.
I didn't get too many. In terms of county, I think my best season was for London when I won
57.
Premier League Player of the Year.
That's some going. I
Yeah.
didn't know you won that. Congratulations.
Yeah, finished second in all of the counties, but I only played 8 games
100.
instead of the 9, and I was done on that divisional average point thingy.
Oh, the dynamic average.
Dynamic average, yeah. Otherwise, I would have
55.
actually won it, but was in second place. But more importantly, the best male player in the Premier League, and that's when counties was still a little bit important. That was the London
43.
A side then was something else, which included a certain Mr. Steve Eaton as well.
I bet that team was a bit frightening.
Yeah, it was. It was. It was
100.
literally frightening. I think we had one team. Can't remember what time of it, but what point in the year it was.
53.
But 9 of the 12 men's A were just about to play in the Worlds or had just played in the Worlds.
That leads me to think that Shane Burgess was in that team.
Yeah,
100.
Yeah, Paul Doggett, Nicky Turner, Andy Hayfield.
He was a
Steve
good
Beaton.
England international, and Andy Hayfield.
Yeah.
137. Ben, you require 104.
Well, this would be a very rare hold of throw and slightly weird,
64.
because I guarantee he wasn't going for the
Prakash
24 to
requires
start.
74.
I had to check myself there. What's he doing? I was looking at the 74 and thought he overpitched it, but it's Prakash who wants tops. He just showed you where it is.
34. Ben, you
Had his
require
chances, hasn't he?
40.
7 darts at a double in this game. Ben's only had 3.
Game shot.
Now he's had 4, but he's got 3 legs. And that ensures, no matter what happens from here, that Jiwa cannot get outside
6th leg, it's Prakash to throw
or get
first.
inside the top 3
Game
after
on.
this game because of the leg difference. Even if he wins, he will still be behind Robb with 3 matches to go.
83.
It's 2 points for a win, all the matches, best of 7 in every group and on finals night. We already have 3 safely
135.
through in the dominant and outstanding Raymond Smith, who came through Group A with, well, relative ease. And then today, of
81.
course, Dylan Slevin and Adam Atkinson. So the top 3 from this Group B will make up tomorrow night's final. Week 7.
17.
What were your picks from earlier tonight, Mace? When you were speaking to the Sporty Stuff TV crew, what did you go for?
140.
I went for Chaz to beat Ben Robb at 4-5. Peter Jacques to beat Prakash. And my trouble was
43.
Chaz to beat Jeroen. 4-5, 4-9, 4-9. Not a lot of value after last night's displays.
Well, if you were going
100.
for under 2.5 180s in this game, well, you're looking pretty good because there haven't been any.
Yeah, I did initially in my picks. I had Ben Robb, but Prakash scared me off with
96.
some of his
Prakash
performance
required
last night.
97.
And let's be honest, if Ben Robb wouldn't have taken 4 out of 5 on the doubles last night, and Prakash miss 7 in the match, which is
34.
well, getting down that territory here. He was 2 from 9 against Ben Robb, and that was his undoing last night.
Yeah, Ben, so far in this game, is finding the outer ring.
132.
When he gets there.
Prakash requires 63.
Incredibly, he was 4 out of 5 last night against Prakash, and that was literally the difference. Oh, double 3.
60.
Uh-oh. I smell
Ben, you
trouble
require
because if Ben Robb
78.
takes this away, we've now got 3 players on 6 points and a 4-point gap to the bottom 2. But that is an enormous mistake.
38.
Massive let
Prakash
off
required
for
3.
Prakash Jiwa.
The second smallest checkout on the board. You can only get this one way.
No score.
And that's not it.
Ben, you require
To wrap
40.
it up. 4-2, the same scoreline as last night, Nico.
Good marker.
Game, shot,
Told you.
and the match.
We all
Ben
see it
Robb.
when we have a bit of a climber on that first dart. It wasn't in the way, and Ben Robb gets a 4-2 victory against Prakash Jiwa for the second successive day in Group B. The doubles were excellent, weren't they, at 67%. The average, not so. I'll tell you what is good, being on 6 points with Peter Jacques and Chaz Barstow. And when it comes to the next match, it's over to Jeroen Mioch, trying to extinguish the disappointment that his football team were eliminated from the World Cup earlier tonight. And he takes on Chaz Barstow to try and get closer to the top 3 in the next few minutes.
Well, Ben Robb certainly isn't making things easy for himself, but he has just become the third player on to 6 points in the Group B table, coming through with a victory over Prakash Jiwa in our first game of this evening's session. It was Jiwa who took the opening leg against the throw with too many trebleless visits from the New Zealander in the early exchanges, but Ben Robb responded well with a 14-dart break back, and despite not performing anywhere near the level we know he's capable of, he kept himself in the game and managed to get over the line thanks largely to his superior finishing in that match. Next, we move on to Jeroen Mioch against Barstow. Chaz came through in a decider when these two met yesterday. It was a real sickener, wasn't it, for Jeroen Mioch, this one. It's one he'll certainly feel he should have won, having been 3-1 up and missed multiple match starts to get over the line in the match. As it is, just the 2 points for him in Group B at the moment, and I'm sure he'll be scratching his head wondering just why, because he did have 50% checkout success over the course of the matches he played yesterday. Can he put that disappointment behind him in this one and get 2 more points on the board? Let's hand back over to Nico and Mace to find out.
Many thanks, Abby. Change of shirt for Jeroen Mioch. And up against Barstow, who's really feeling comfortable at the top of the table, even with that win from Ben Robb. His superior leg difference by a couple of legs will now see him have the chance to stay on the top on points, with a little gap between himself and Jacques and Robb. But the 43-year-old from Winchester, who loves playing the night session, nicknamed the Prince because his first name is Charles. Well,
Someone shouldn't have told me that.
why's that, Mace?
Oh, I'm just gonna... Hello, Charles. He obviously
First
doesn't like
leg,
it.
it's Chaz to throw first. Game
Hence
on.
it's been shortened to Chaz. I wonder if Jeroen would have had the full orange had the Dutch won this evening. Sadly going out. Argentina, and
180.
what a statement that is.
I had £1 for the amount of times that Chaz starts a game like that on a Friday night.
60.
Honestly, this is like a comfort blanket to him playing here on a Thursday, Friday and Saturday. An extraordinary evening record that he has.
134.
He always starts well.
Yeah, can fade a little throughout the evening. I mean, last night he was out of the blocks with a
180.
full 2 win over Ben Robb, and then banged in a bit of a monster against Prakash, 96-61, 80% on the doubles. Then had a defeat to Peter Jacques, both players averaging literally just shy of a ton. And then he had a 91-99 in a narrow win against this man here at full 3, who himself averaged close to 86.
Chaz, you require 127.
127. And not
79. Jeroen, you require 170.
48 after 12, forcing Jeroen into finding biggest of them all.
58. Chaz, you
He
require
should be looking
48.
for a tops here, because this is where he spends his
Game
time.
shot on the first leg.
This is where he makes his money.
Barstow.
And Barstow takes the first leg. And I was very impressed with the overall standard last night, Mace. And if you look at
Second leg, it's Jeroen to throw
89.01
first.
as the
Game
overall average for everything that was thrown, that's around about 4 points above what we get overall from everybody. That's very impressive.
180.
And the fact that we've had 3 180s in the first leg in a bit tells you what is possible in this game. Last night we had one game
140.
that had 6 maximums. And that was between Barstow and Robb, and that was the very first game of the night.
Yeah, looking at Barstow's stats for the
42.
night, 94.15, a high of 99.46, which was in defeat to Peter Jacques. He had 8 180s, more than anybody. Finishing stats at
125.
35.71. Best leg of 12. Best leg last night was Peter Jacques in 11.
You wonder why we enjoyed it so much. It's about what everybody did.
39.
It's not just about what one person did, it's about what everybody did. Everybody got maximums. Everybody got a ton plus out. Everybody had a 90-plus average. Starting to see where I'm getting at here.
Yeah, it was 24 180s across the board last night, which, considering the amount of matches, only 62 legs played, was very, very tidy indeed. And like you say, an 89.01 running average for the night is right up there.
Well, whenever we've got these small delays in play, it's important for the players to maintain focus. You just saw Chaz there going, dab his hands on something that gives him extra grip.
Yeah, it's like a resin bag, and it's just almost like a chalk-like substance, but it adds a little bit of grip.
Chaz's last score was 125.
There must have been a mistake in the score that was put in previously, which is, there you go.
Did you ever use anything for extra grip?
Yeah, I use a similar thing, but it comes in like a little pot, and you just dab a bit on your case. I think Phil, you can often see Phil go over and just dab his finger on it.
Yeah, it's just one finger.
Yeah.
Just making sure that everything is straightened out before we go ahead. Sometimes it's a good thing that this happens early in a match. You don't want this to happen just before a match dart is thrown.
Absolutely. Well, there's human error involved, of course. It's just a slip of the finger when you're typing in a number.
Oh,
the delay bothered him.
Unbelievable. This is what, I mean, we said it last night. I've got to say it again. This is why we love him. He's just unflappable.
140. Chance to require 56.
I like Ben Robb to do Prakash. I looked at this and I thought, this has got 180s. Go over 2.5.
Game shot on the second.
Oh, my word. Can somebody
Barstow
please get me a Chaz Barstow Christmas jumper? I want one so badly. He is just entertainment personified.
Third leg, it's Chaz to throw first.
This is what he's doing the first couple of legs. Straight out the traps. We've got 4 maximums and 2 legs.
He has hit the stage running.
100.
I mean, in credit to Jeroen, and he's averaging 98.75, and he's not had a dart at the double.
Yeah, I don't know what's Dutch for crying out loud.
140.
But he really has played well in this game, and he is getting nowhere near him.
I think I know what it is, but I think it also might translate into a swear word, so I'm going to leave it.
Okay, fair enough.
Just in case.
In boxing terms, Jeroen Mioch is in the best condition of his life, and he's not laying a glove on Barstow. He is playing darts like 39. Floyd Mayweather dodges punches.
$100.
I mean, that ton is extraordinary. 3 darts concentrated inside a polo mint, like you said a little bit last night, which made me chuckle. Other mints are available.
95.
They just don't have a hole.
Exactly. No good to us if they don't have a hole in it. Where do we aim?
121.
Just pulled that one. You could see the frustration. He fancies this tonight. If he's a little perturbed about hitting 121, I do feel sorry for the field.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel that way.
57.
Let's face it, it's one of
122.
Chaz's biggest droughts in winning a weekly title with the MODUS Super Series. 777.
108.
But again, Mioc is on the maximum finish and having to hit it to get a leg.
Oh, that would have been 14, 12, and 15.
80.
The 7 gone
Chaz
in.
require 14.
Straight for it.
It's not in the way.
I mean, he wants to split.
Well, it's a really good guide, just like Ben Robb's double top at the end of his match. But I think this split is a good idea.
2. You're only
gets a
requiring
look.
90.
I wouldn't have split it on the 6s because the breakdown from double 6 is horrendous.
Can he get a shot at a double? Yes, it's the bull.
65.
First shot to no avail.
12.
Because of those misses at double, Barstow's average has tumbled a bit.
Game
but
shot
not
on the
for
third
long.
leg.
3-0 to the man from Winchester who has not won a weekly title. I hate to say this. This is a drought
Fourth
for
leg, it's
Barstow.
Jeroen to throw first.
Week 2 of Super Series 1. That was the last time he won a week. Some people would love to just get one win, but he's got stacks of them.
180.
That is around week 2, 10, 11.
57.
16, 17 weeks ago. That's a long time for.
Yeah, that's a
Chaz.
third of a year. But he has got 4 wins with us in the last couple of years. And an outrageous record of making
96.
Saturday nights. I don't see anywhere he doesn't make Saturday night again.
I bet he wishes the finals were on Friday nights.
84.
I remember the first night I ever commentated on him, he was playing against Paul Hogan. And within about 3 legs, I thought, why have I never seen this guy play before? I don't think he's going to win this leg.
I knew all about him via
55.
Andy Jenkins.
You only require 85.
You'll see this guy who plays local. How's Barstow? He's unbelievable.
Double 8.
69.
That wasn't far away. We came up with a new phrase this afternoon, didn't we? Called an everything bagel.
Yep.
Named after
95.
a very famous.
You only require 16.
I'd like to say lunch or snack in delicatessens in New York, where you get pretty much everything you want from a match.
So our
Low
everything
score.
bagel is a 100 plus average, a 180, a ton plus finish, and a 4-0. We don't ask for much.
66.
He's not going to get the ton plus average
You
in this
only
game,
require
Barstow, unless he goes a
16.
little bit crackers over the next few legs.
Game
But we
shot
are
on the
going into
fourth
a 5th leg.
Jeroen Mioch.
We do have to address the fact that Mioc is on 2 points,
5th
4
leg, it's
points
chance to
adrift
throw
of
first.
the top 3,
Game on.
and his leg difference is 5 adrift of Peter Jacques, who currently sits in that 3rd spot.
96.
And he's back in action in our match to follow against Prakash Jiwa.
Slightly off topic, I know,
60.
but these players want this really badly because they want to be part of Saturday night. There are
80.
monetary bonuses up for grabs. If you win the whole thing on Saturday, it's £5,000. That's a lot of guilders, as they used to say.
But 15,000 guilders.
There you go. But let's face it,
123.
was he distracted in the practice room because of the football? I know that's a very strange question, but it's very realistic.
Yeah, well, you can
43.
you can burn a lot of adrenaline, and he was massively involved. We could hear the ums and ahs and the screams and the shouts.
On the flip side, it might be a way for him to vent.
100.
I was just about to say that. Burn some nervous energy off.
I'm just glad that Chaz is not wearing Argentinian colours.
60.
That would be like a red flag to the bull.
That would have been a great shout.
And nobody wears a dart shirt like that, do they? Blue and white stripes. I haven't really found any
58.
Argentinian dart players, actually, have we?
No, the only one from sort of South America is Diogo I can think of.
83.
We've had some players from
You only
Guyana
require 160.
and down there, but Diogo's the most famous one, alongside his Brazilian teammates over the last few years, like Bruno Rangel.
24. Chance to require 139.
Fancying a bit of a trip next year down there, aren't you?
Yeah, maybe. Depends how busy I am. Oh, double top for the win.
Game,
Absolutely
shot, and the match.
superb.
Chaz Barstow.
His best finish of the match with his last 3 darts. Just too strong. He stays at the top on 8 points, and his leg difference improves to +8. Just a really good performance at the start, and he gave himself a lot of breathing space. Jeroen Mioch just couldn't answer what happened from the beginning of that one. He will come back in a couple of games against Ben Robb, but first we'll have Prakash Jiwa in his 2nd match, trying to resurrect his chances in the group up against Peter Jacques, who you will see for the first time tonight.
Good evening and welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where Chaz Barstow has just edged even closer to booking his spot in tomorrow evening's finals night with a 4-1 victory in his first match of this evening's session, that coming over Jeroen Mioch. Barstow very fortunate to win this fixture yesterday, but he didn't need much luck in that one this evening. 26 darts required to take the opening 2 legs, and he came storming out of the blocks in that one, didn't he? An average just over 90 in the end in that one. A really impressive display from him, capped off with that 139 finish to get over the line in the end. Next up for you then, we have Peter Jacques, in action for the first time this evening, up against Prakash Jiwa, who we saw in action a little bit earlier on. And it was Peter Jacques who was the victor when these two met yesterday evening. A 4-2 win for him in that one, with a 94 average. It included an 11 dart leg as well from the Englishman. Very impressive indeed. As for Prakash, he's looking for his first win of this session. He certainly had his chances against Robb in the opening match, but missed 8 darts at a double in that one. He'll hope for more checkouts like that 134 he hit against Jacques last night in this one to help him get over the line and get an important 2 points on the board. Let's hand back to our commentary team then to see how this one unfolds.
Yeah, big time game right now for Peter Jacques as we welcome him back to the hockey in one of the 8 shirts that he has in different colours. Today it's grey and red. I wonder if he's got a few more for tomorrow, because if he wins this game, he's going to be very close already to being in Saturday night, courtesy of the result for Robb in the first game against Prakash and that win for Barstow against Jeroen Mioch. So it's fair to say that the 49-year-old from Denby Dale has had all the results going his way so far without even throwing a dart.
Yeah, absolutely. He won't be buoyed. It's a bit of a Nardo grey, that, I think, the Peter Jacques shirt. I'm a big fan of that, isn't it?
Nardo?
Yeah, they paint a lot of cars that colour now. There's a particular
first leg, it's Prakash to throw
M4
first.
I'm
Game
a
on.
bit of a fan of at the moment, and it's in exactly that colour.
I do like that colour. I once had a dart shirt that colour myself. I didn't know it was Nardo grey, though. Oh, we have a change of equipment.
22.
It may just be a change of colour. But maybe just trying to make something happen with his last 3 matches, because Jiwa now
100.
can only get to 8 points. That is the best he can hope for. Same for Mioc. And now
100.
we've got Barstow already on 8 points with 3 matches to go. And Jacques has got 4, and he's on 6. We've seen separation already, and I just get the feeling that
80.
maybe the top 3 as it stands going into game 3 is how it's going to be at the end of play.
There's the said M4 in the Nardo grey. What are you saying?
I spent enough money tonight taking you for a steak,
81.
Mason. Come on. Stop trying to take money out my pocket.
It's Christmas.
Do you want anything else? Small country?
78.
Bucket full of pate?
Could take me to Argentina, I suppose. A few steaks down there, that's for sure. Some of the finest steak I've had has actually been in
11.
an Argentinian steakhouse.
Oh, I'm sure it's even better in Argentina. I won't tell Jeroen Mioch that that's the place that I'm thinking about going.
180.
Not tonight, mate.
Not today. Too soon.
Wasn't too soon for a max.
Oh, hang on. He's changed again.
Oh, yeah.
100. Peter, you
He's got an
require
identical
63.
set of darts over there on the table.
I thought he was doing a magic trick there. I'm about to make these flights disappear.
Yeah, and change colour.
Double 16.
31.
I don't care what darts he's using. He's not going to take 187 and 3.
Well, not unless he picks the other setup off the table.
That would be a bit of a pickle for our referee, Charlie.
100.
Hang on, you're only supposed to throw 3. Come on.
32.
How many needed for 32?
Game shot on the
Only
first
2.
leg. Peter
And it's the man from Yorkshire who takes the lead with a break. Problems for the man from Warwickshire.
Second leg, it's Peter to throw
I can't
first.
believe
Game
you
on.
missed out, my pal. And yours.
I'm for the chopping block, and who better to do that than the Undertaker?
Yeah, Nigel Hayden. A wonderful servant to Warwickshire
140.
County Darts. In fact, has the second highest of all Man of the Match awards, just one behind Nick Gedney on 28.
100.
Hope you're well, Nigel.
Nice that he's tuning in, actually.
Yeah, he loves his darts.
I miss running into Nigel, apart from the fact
100.
he always beat me.
Well, if you run into him, you'd certainly know about it.
Honestly, the first time he beat me, I think, I forget where it was. It might have even been in Vegas. After that, couldn't beat him.
80.
Just couldn't beat him. Too good.
Yeah, I don't think I've got a particularly great record against him myself as it goes. Peter Jacques
100.
going about his business here. 140, back-to-back tons, down to 161 after 9.
You do get the feeling with Jacques' experience
45.
playing
Peter
here
require
and in the previous venue
161.
that he knows how important it is to just get the job done early in Group B and just have games to spare where he doesn't have to sweat it.
137.
Well, he will also have noticed the chopping and changing of the equipment, and Peter Jacques is wise enough and experienced enough to go,
100.
I've got you here.
Peter require 24.
Double six.
Game shot
14
on the
darter
second leg.
to back up
Peter
the break in leg
Jacques.
1. And so far, this is excellent from Peter. 96.97 the average.
Third leg, it's
A
Prakash to
maximum
throw
in there
first.
and
Game
decent
on.
doubling. This is excellent.
Yep, only 31 darts used to win the opening 2.
140.
Every now and again, you see somebody who uses multiple sets on stage.
96.
Obviously, they're the same construct, these barrels, but they are going to be different microscopically. Even Alan Norris, he's the kind of person who tends to chop and change from set to set because of barrel temperature. Is that right?
Yeah, I do believe so.
Oh, by the way, I got some lovely news on
55.
social media yesterday. Good friend of mine, Stuart Kellett, is going to Q School.
Oh, great news.
I want to see the return of him. One of my favourite people.
140.
Wasn't he a former #1 in the BDO?
I believe he made the World Masters final, didn't he?
Yeah, something sticks in my mind that he was.
He might have been a number 2.
26. Prakash require 81.
Genuinely love that guy. I think he's great.
Game
I love
shot on
that
the
as
third
well. That's an
leg.
11 darter from
Prakash Jiwa.
Prakash.
Prakash will love that. An 11 dart hold. Clinical.
Fourth leg, it's Peach to throw
3
first.
140s,
Game on.
81 in 2.
That's the tidy 11 darter, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the one that you think, well,
140.
that just feels nice because it's uniform.
It's like the old school 15, isn't it? 4 tons out on 101, and it's got to be 61 tops.
Yeah.
60.
Oh, that's happened twice in that visit,
Yeah, well,
and it's happened a couple of times earlier tonight.
It's not a bounce out thing. It's an issue with the throw, the way they land. They're not
85.
getting straight and quick enough.
That camera there from the top of the board.
Yeah,
will-
if we get
will-
another look from that direct camera, looking at the player, maybe on the next throw, you'll see the
140.
wibble of the dart.
If you see Peters coming forward, they're going forward, whereas when Prakash's are actually travelling through the air, they're wibbling
60.
Yeah,
from
they're-
side to side. When they land in the board, they're going sideways. They're kinking right.
Yeah.
That's why.
But the energy,
100.
if it finds another dart and it's not straightened up enough, there's not enough energy to take the dart into the board.
Now you can see Peters are going in very straight.
Yeah, clean.
85.
Typically.
What
Horrendous
an awful
deflection.
deflection that was. That's a perfect example. That's how he can side stack.
60.
You don't see many players
Peach require
doing a side stack. And now,
131.
you might think that we're nitpicking here and saying that it's not a very good thing, but then again, a certain Phil Taylor used to do just that,
91.
and he was quite good.
Prakash require 141.
Well, Peter will be back. 3 in hand. For a
60.
3-1 lead.
Peach require 40.
Don't leave Prakash on 81, he's just taking it.
Game shot on the
Good
fourth
advice
leg.
and well
Peter
heeded
James.
by the Terrier.
His winning legs in the match, 17, 14 and 16.
Fifth leg, it's Prakash to throw first. Game on.
Prakash with that wonderful 11 in leg 3.
Yeah, winning legs in a run about 96 average.
Yep.
41.
And it's now at 90 exactly after the 4 legs. So in the leg where he lost, he was left
well
languished.
back. Yeah. Yeah, in the
44.
late 200s.
I think.
Do you want to try
60.
to explain how the averages are calculated?
Have we got enough time?
I know. Basically, if you
140.
a best of 5 and you won in 3 15 darters, it's 45 divided by what, 1503
1503, yeah.
divided by 45. If you won 100,
100.
the other legs, what you were left on is subtracted from that, and then the division is made.
60.
We used to have to do that manually back in the day.
4 legs is 2004. Take a residual in the leg that you lost. Let's say that was 4 points. It'd be 2,000 shared by the amount of darts that you threw in the match.
Correct.
We're definitely from the same school, aren't we? We filled in the same sheets every Thursday night, didn't we?
Yep. Exactly that.
Use the red pen for the ton scores as well.
Oh, yes. Little ring around them.
That's why you like those 5-ton legs.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. You got all red.
Yeah, all red. Well, when you look at your own, you want to see as much red as possible.
157.
This would be somewhere to get the win. And for me, if Jacques wins this leg or the next,
91.
Prakash has gone
Prakash
already.
requires 60.
Got to keep surviving, Prakash.
Game
And
shot on the
survive he
fifth
does
leg.
with an
Prakash
excellent
Jiwa.
shot there.
Just slowing down without a fight, is he?
That's
Sixth
a
leg, it's
quality that
Peter
you
to throw
really want to be
first. Game on.
given. And speaking to Peter yesterday, he has got this terrier quality. It's not just because he's from Yorkshire and being the Yorkshire Terrier. It's just not a
125.
nickname. It's a reputation. It's a lifestyle with him. First in the building again.
He will be on the seniors next year.
140.
He's 50 next year, and he's going to be a nightmare.
That is a dreadful draw for somebody.
100.
This second part of my career might be shorter lived than the first. Might go back into retirement until they all go again. No, you just
83.
think of the next lot in the order. Your Peter Wrights, your Gary Andersons, your Steve Beatons. Oh, goodness.
48.
That's head spinning, that. Give me 7 years. I might need 7 years.
98.
He's not done with yet.
No, far from it. Irv King, of course. There's another one that could find himself playing in the seniors at some point. Vincent van der Voort. Oh, goodness, it just gets Barneveld.
You shouldn't be reading this, miss.
No,
Come
I'm
on.
looking down the list thinking, oh dear, Ian White. All within.
You should have just stopped at Peter Jacques, you see.
Yeah.
Now he's looking for a 133 to leave tops to force Jiwa
133.
to take 80. It was 60 in the previous leg.
80.
He's decent on the finishing as Prakash. He's only missed one double.
Game shot
And that remains the
leg.
case.
Prakash Jiwa.
3-3. And this is a do or die leg. Jiwa is either in or out.
Seventh and final leg. It's Prakash to
John
throw
Henderson.
first. Game on.
Yeah, he's 50 this coming year. He's just lost his tour privileges for now.
80.
But I'm sure he's going to Q School to get them back, potentially. Prakash has had, I think that's 4 darts violently collide with his own flight setup. And
55.
on the floor, it's cost him a lot of points. But to his credit, he stuck to his task. And he's still in this with the throw.
140.
140.
For you, Kevin Burness and Richie Burnett, who got tour cards this year that we were expecting to see in the seniors. But if you actually look at all the players that would be available that are 50 and over, that'd be a frightening prospect.
Genuinely is.
If they were all allowed to play, of course.
Oh, Prakash.
62.
What a save. What a lovely reaction as well. Big puff of the cheeks as if to say 62 is better than 22 or 3.
Yeah, he knew how big that was. And the trebling has just
60.
dried up for Peter Jacques. He can't believe it.
One dot lead here for Prakash.
He was in complete control of the match. 3-1 up.
That switch here.
99.
Intelligent. You'd much rather have 120 than 119.
Well, Peter's had one max. Needs another.
83.
The finish.
Pressure
After hitting that
required
treble one.
120.
Oh,
80.
well, that'll do. I'm not sure about the thought process of hitting tops to leave tops, but when it happens, it looks like genius.
133.
Now, he's got to hit it again.
Required 40.
Double 10. Oh, no. That mistake, that one error,
No score.
could be catastrophic for Jiwa in Group B. Double 4. And he pinches the game and effectively eliminates Prakash Jiwa from this group, because it is Jacques who goes to 8 points now. And with Robb already on 6 points and a much better leg difference, Jiwa cannot make the top 3 from here. A really eventful game. That was something to watch, as Jacques has bolstered his chances of making Saturday night once again here in Portsmouth. Jeroen Mioch will come back to the Oki to take on Robb in the next game, and it's not too far away. So join us if you can for that.
This is the MODUS Super Series. $180.
A reminder that you can visit dartshop.tv to book your free tickets for finals night, and we will be showing the England-France game tomorrow evening prior to the darting action getting underway. But back here in Group B, it is looking very good indeed for Peter Jacques, who has just come through in a last leg decider to get the better of Prakash Jiwa in that last one. Jiwa needed to win that one, didn't he, to keep his hopes of qualifying for finals night alive, and from 3-1 down managed to haul himself back into the contest and force a decider. An 11 dart leg in there as well from him, but agony in that decider as he made one mistake despite some flawless finishing throughout that match. One mistake and Jacques punished him to take the points. We can take a little look at the league standings then and see how things look ahead of our next match, which is Jeroen Mioch up against Ben Robb, and confirmation that if Ben Robb beats Jeroen in this one, our lineup will be complete for finals night. So a really big game to look forward to. The head-to-head for this week is in favour of Ben Robb. He's won 3 of the 4 meetings between these two players this week. Mioc's one win coming on the final day of Group A action. This 106 helping him over the line in that match. That one to take a 2-0 lead in that fixture. Ben winning the other 3 contests, as I just mentioned, including their meeting in Group B last night. His 91 sealing the 2 points in that one. Oh, how he would wish for the same scoreline in this one to confirm his place in finals night. Will he be able to do that in this match, or will it take a little bit longer? Let's find out and see how this game pans out in the company of Mace and Nico.
Thanks, Abby. I think one of the things that could be in favour of Jeroen Mioch here is that this is the shirt he was wearing when he beat Ben Robb. Small things like that can help, but now we have a situation for Ben where all of the fixtures have actually gone his way.
Yep.
And now he's in a final, maybe the first of a couple, where he can get the job done ahead of time.
Ever been there, Nico? Columborg, should I say?
Honestly, it sounds like a mix between a country and a detective.
Yeah, banging the
First leg, it's Jeroen to throw first. Game on.
centre of the Netherlands, a population of just around 30,000, so a fairly smallish area.
And there's a nice bit of brotherhood there between these two. I think they've spent the last 5 days together, and I get the feeling they've got on pretty well.
40.
And that's good to see when you spend so much time with players over the course of a week. But I do get the feeling that they're not going to be seeing each other tomorrow.
Yeah,
100.
when you compare where they're from, Auckland a little bit bigger than Columborg, with a population of 1.5 million.
You've never been to Auckland, have you?
180.
You should.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
It's just a little bit awesome. Nice view from the bridge
57.
when I jumped off it.
It reminds me of a bit American-y, isn't it, with the fact that
60.
it's right on, literally right on the water.
Yeah. It's a gorgeous place. Bit of a journey.
60.
Yeah, that's the only thing. That's the only reason I've not been there. And Australia.
Yeah, they had the Commonwealth Games there back in 1990.
98.
Some time for track and field, and in the UK, wasn't it? Colin Jackson, Sally Gunnell, Linford Christie,
Colin.
John Regis, Steve Backley, Steve
60.
Smith. I could
You're
go
on your
on
reply,
and on and on about it.
123.
Our friend John Rowling was there.
He was. Colin, 60-metre hurdles, wasn't it?
And the 110 as well. It's just
91.
an outrageously good
There
there
was another guy around at the time that was a bit of his nemesis, wasn't it?
Well, he was up against Roger Kingdom, who was
57. You're on your
in the United States,
32.
but the second guy in England at the time was Tony Jarrett.
Yeah, athletics was wonderful then.
Game shot on the first leg.
Coverage.
Jeroen Mioch.
Jeroen takes the first leg. It was a fairly quiet one.
Second leg, it's Ben to throw first. Game on.
A ton or any other three-figure score. Well, it is an 18-dart hold.
100.
It has to be said that if Ben gets any result here, doesn't matter whether it's 4-1, 4-2 or 4-3, he'll be
60.
through. Mioc and Jiwa will be out with 6 matches to go here in Group C. That separation that we had
100
in the early part of tonight has caused this chasm between the top 3 and the bottom 2. Every result is going the way of the top 3. And if there is to be a comeback
39
from Jeroen Mioch here, it's got to be immediate and sustained.
140.
Every game is a final. He's going to have to beat Ben Robb. He's going to have to beat Prakash Jiwa and maybe get some legs on the board there
56.
very early.
Ben, you require
and he's going to have to beat Peter
161.
Jacques. He's got a leg difference of -6. That has to change.
129.
Colin Jackson actually set a record in a place that
83. Ben, you require 32.
Very familiar with.
Game shot on the second
in Germany.
Ben
Is that the Glaspalast?
Yeah, he set the record there.
For the 60-metre hurdles?
Yeah.
Third leg, it's
I've
Jeroen
been
to throw
going-
first.
I've been
Game
going to
on.
that place for 10 years and I didn't know that.
I'm going to say it. That's why I said it. Somebody you're very, very familiar with.
I've made a European Tour final there.
140.
I can't believe now I know, and I'll never forget it.
Nope.
I'll be very fortunate enough to
84.
meet Steve Backley and to become quite friendly with Steve Smith, the great javelin thrower from the late 80s and early 90s.
58.
Yeah, talk about being starstruck. We talked about that last night. When I first met Steve, I was
81.
quivering, honestly. And then I was like a proper fanboy saying, so what was it like jumping against Javier Sotomayor of Cuba? He said, well, if I had a plan for the amount of times I've been asked that.
133.
I managed to wing my way in to the old Sports Personality of the Year Awards one year.
180.
I got invited
You're
one
on
year and
your
I couldn't go.
require
I was
170.
devastated.
Yeah, well, I just managed to find a way to get in there. And I met, some of my sporting heroes,
134. Ben, you require
Thompson.
156.
and what a lovely man he was. Full of wisdom and advice.
I wonder who the sporting heroes are of Ben Robb. Sean Fitzpatrick,
41.
maybe?
You're on
I
your
just love the way
require
they say his name.
36.
Sean Fitzpatrick.
Maybe the wonderful New Zealand heavyweight boxer, former world champion Joe Parker.
Yeah.
27.
Yeah.
Ben, you require
What a
150.
fighter he was.
I'm gonna blow your mind in a minute.
He was New Zealand's version of Mike Tyson, wasn't he?
Maybe Daniel Vittori. Great left arm bowler.
99. You're on your require
Jonah
9.
Lomu.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Daniel Carter. Oh, there's so many of them.
Game shot on the third
Beautiful
leg.
hit from Mioc.
You're on Mioc.
Takes the lead, and he is scrapping really well. Somebody very close to me, actually.
Fourth leg, it's
You're gonna
Ben to
love
throw
this, 'cause I know how
first.
much you're into
Game
your
on.
boxing. Used to be David Tua's personal assistant.
Wow. That's
40.
That's not a job. He asked for something to eat. I wonder if you just said how much.
30.
I really want to know now. I almost want to walk up to him and say, who's your sporting
93.
hero, Ben? It might even be a dart player. It may well be, but with a lot of Kiwis, their heroes are rugby players.
Yeah,
77.
that's their big sport, isn't it?
It's a religion.
Yeah. This match is
95.
right in the balance. Bookies found it relatively tight to separate them, even on throw. Jeroen was even money. Robb was the 8-11 favourite. Not too much confidence there.
Is it fair to say that we saw more from Ben during the day?
Yeah.
Than we have done in the evening sessions?
With that, do you think it has any bearing on the fact that Raymond was there and they've
95
been spending a lot of time together?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Maybe having him there was
security blanket.
Yeah. Maybe
100.
he's the person he was practicing with. Maybe he was the muse.
Bouncing off of each other.
It hasn't been as boisterous in the practice room.
Either
66.
Session, night
Ben, you
or day.
require 114.
When it's been Raymond and Ben on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it just seemed a bit more boisterous.
Game shot.
But that is a take from Ben
Robb
to be equalising after 4 legs. A very nice take indeed. And also stopping.
Fifth leg, it's Jeroen to throw first.
Jeroen from getting a 1-3-4 chance, which would have given him a 3-1 lead. And when you're talking about Jeroen Mioch this week, it's all about the finishing. But so far,
137.
It's perfect.
Yep, 2 out of 2. Not for the first time.
26.
That look of confusion. I feel your pain, Big Rig. I have been there. And it is, you sort of scratch your head and go, where
140.
Fortunately for him, it was punished. 137, followed by a 140.
28.
Oh, the Big Rig, 26-28. He's catching.
I ran into Raymond Smith this afternoon. He arrived in the venue just after Group C was done. And he was in here with his other half. And I said, how are you enjoying December on the South Coast?
She looked frozen.
Face like thunder, as if to say it's
84.
About 25 degrees too cold.
126.
I think he's doing the podcast with Dan Dawson for the BDC YouTube channel.
41.
Keep an eye out for that. Me and you are doing a bit on that tomorrow. We're going to be a bit competitive tomorrow, I do believe.
I'll probably lose again.
It will be funny.
43. You only require 85.
This isn't funny for Ben. Well, you're better off doing that when he's on 320 than 32.
Yeah, if you're gonna fluff your lines,
49.
Do it now.
All is good in the world. Leaving a double after 15. Just take it out now. 3-2 up.
60.
You got to say
you
that
only require 36.
Stems from points, but also from leg difference. He doesn't just need to win games; he needs to win them by margins.
20.
There have been plenty of legs lost by people this week when they've been in this position.
You only require 16.
But this leg is not lost.
Isn't that always the way? You eventually find the lipstick, only to see your opponent after
6 leg. It's meant to throw first. Game on.
The double. But everything has gone with throw so far, Paul.
Ooh, 5 perfect darts.
180.
He's ended and started legs 5 and 6 well.
58.
Get another 3 if you dare. Never mind.
97.
Closer this game is, the better it is for Ben, for Peter, and
140.
Charles.
60.
Doesn't know anybody called Camilla, does he? He prefers Charles. He's probably got a friend called Dave.
23. Ben, you require 164.
Has Ben got a friend called Bill? He's got a friend in that treble 20 over the last 5 minutes.
Certainly has.
132.
In there. this one is going to a decider.
61. Ben, you require 32.
Go the distance for the second time. Well, actually, the third time in a row.
Game shot.
There we have it. It was 4-3
Ben Robb.
to Chaz Barstow. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was 4-1. I'm reading my notes wrong. I do beg your pardon. It was 4-3 for Peter Jacques against Prakash Jiwa.
It's Jeroen to throw first.
Well, this
Game
is
on.
for the second game in a row going the distance, and this is an enormous leg for Jeroen Mioch to survive in this Group B.
41.
He's made poor start, which is instantly giving the initiative.
57.
Ben Robb. He can't punish. He won this tie 4-2 with a 90 average last night, Ben Robb. It was 40%
78.
He's 75% right now. 3 out of 4, but only averaging 86.6.
In the previous game,
41.
Prakash Jiwa was on exactly the same doubling stats going into the last leg. He ended up losing after missing match darts. Ben will be hoping that that doesn't befall him.
40.
Well, Jeroen now, on 3 different occasions, has offered up the throw in this deciding leg, and it's not been taken. But it has now.
180.
That's a fourth.
When your opponent's on 403 after 6, you think, okay, I've got you now, but he hasn't put his foot to the floor until now.
140.
Ben's got the darts. Has he got the score?
Got to go 18.
He does. Uh-oh.
38.
Well, 2 trebles. They were the wrong colour.
81.
That'll have to do. This is where you want to leave tops with a 145. That's not going to happen. And again, it's the wrong treble.
You only require 121.
4 trebles in the last 2 visits, and he didn't want any of them. And he's left himself plenty to do. Treble 17 and bull. He will be back for the 135.
He's going to hit the 25 here.
Ben,
he wants it to be just above and maybe slightly left. That'll do. Unfortunately, the 60 was well short.
63. You only require
This is no
64.
gimme. Considering he's thrown 18 darts to get to 64. There's a bit of doubt about this.
48.
And a chance for Ben Robb to finish the job.
And that big
Ben, you
16,
require
the second dart was
72.
safe, wasn't it?
He wants to leave double 16 and 1 shot.
Game,
Job done.
Shot, and
that means that Jeroen
Ben
Mioch
Robb.
is not going to qualify through this group. And it also means that the big rig is through to Saturday night on his debut week. His preparations for the World Championship will continue for the rest of the night. And into Saturday night, he will have a chance at the jackpot alongside Peter Jacques, Barstow, and the others from earlier this week. So, with 6 matches to go, we know our finalists, but we don't know which position they're going to be in. So that is what we will focus on when we come back after this.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where Robb has just come through in a last leg decider to get the better of Mioc and confirm his spot at finals night. We can see confirmation of that victory there, a 4-3 win, an average of 84.5 in that one. 4 180s as well from Robb. He started that game in the same manner that he's played throughout the Group C campaign, really a very below par showing from him, but towards the back end of that match, up in his level somewhat, again without really threatening the level we know he can reach, and by coming through the decider, eliminating Jiwa and Mioch from the race for finals night, which means our lineup for tomorrow night is confirmed. Chaz Barstow, Robb and Peter Jacques have all made it through to finals night. The only thing to determine now is in which order they go through. The next match we've got to bring you, of course, is between the other two players who've qualified for finals night in Jacques and Chaz Barstow. These two, of course, met in Champions Week of Series 1. It was one win apiece in those two, as you can see now with the winning moments from those two matches. What a contest they produced when they met last night as well. Both averaged just below a ton. JC coming through in a last leg decider with 50% checkout success in that one. They are both through to finals night, but who's going to get the bragging rights in this one? Let's find out. Lads, back over to you.
Thank you, Abby. And if Mr. Barstow here does not finish top of the table, he will be chastising himself. That's a bit of a Chris Murphy joke, that one. He was our presenter earlier in the week. Abby is with us until the end of finals night, and we know that these two are going to be here tomorrow night. Congratulations, guys, and congratulations to Robb. So our six players are finalised.
Game on.
Adam Atkinson and Dylan Slevin from Group C, Raymond Smith, Peter Jacques, Chaz Barstow and Robb. They are your 6 finalists for Week 7.
41.
Good luck separating those. They will be divided into 2 groups if you're watching for the very first time.
100.
The players in each group will play each other once. The top 2 from each group will make our semi-finals, and then it is knockout darts for £5,000. As always, best of 7, first to 4, and 2 points for a win. We don't change the rules.
123.
Good question actually about tomorrow night, because I'm not sure what's going to happen there. I'll have a look at the stats and survey the form. So I'm going to be a bit like Christmas looking at a pot of wine.
100.
I'm going to mull over it.
I'll drink it.
Are you a fan of the mulled wine?
Oh, no, I'm
140.
I'm a big fan of the old slow gin. A little bit special.
As long as there's no slow
85.
worms in it.
Charge to require 138.
Protected, Paul. Slow worms.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Game shot on the first leg. Chaz Barstow.
Is there anything Chaz can't do?
Oh, double 9 wasn't protected. A 138 and a 12 darter. Now,
second leg, it's Chaz to throw
Paul
first. Game on.
Contemplating if this could possibly be the everything bagel.
Hang on a minute. Peter was on 215. He didn't even have to
96.
do that. Nope. I think he's looking for the everything bagel. If you want to show what an everything bagel is, by the way, it's the ton plus average. You need a 180
60.
and a ton plus out. He's already got the ton plus out. And does the everything bagel need to be 4-0 as well? It has to be.
Yeah.
123.
Well, you need the 0 for the hole in the bagel.
Oh yeah. We keep talking about things that have holes
60.
in them.
Got to have a hole in it, mate. Like the polo.
Do you remember that April Fool prank that the
60.
PDC played one year? When they said that the dartboard at the Blue Square UK Open was going to be square.
Yeah. The amount of people that fell for it as well.
Including me.
The text messages I had, I was like,
140.
so silly. And then I thought, they're not, are they?
One of the doubles had a corner.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, the PDC have always been very creative. And then when you sort of second guess yourself, you think, no, don't be so silly. And I thought, could they?
I didn't fall for the one the year after where Phil Taylor said he was going to
140.
do his own fragrance.
Charge to require 82.
Oh, there's nothing he can't do. I thought he was going to hit that.
50.
I really thought he was going to hit that.
101.
And embellish his average even more, but Jacques is sticking in there, but might need this.
He's feeling the pace.
57. Charge required.
I think that's what
32.
it is. Barstow is the kind of player to speed you up.
And he's just hitting him with absolutely everything.
16.
Except a
PT required 44.
Probably better off hitting the 25 on that 82, actually, to leave himself tops. And Jacques, who thought that was in.
Reel him back in, Chaz. Get the rod out.
28.
Now that's what us old school players do. We just
16.
get the reel out and say, not so quick. Get back here.
Game
But
shot.
that is
second
2-0.
leg.
My mates
Chaz
do it when
Barstow.
I'm practicing with them on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and I can hear them both giggling like children behind doing the
Third leg,
reeling
it's
in
Pete's to
motion.
throw first. Game on.
We talked about the everything bagel at the start of leg 2. There is a thing called King of the Oki.
43.
Now, if you have a little wager on that with your favourite bookmaker, you need to have the player on most 180s,
58.
the highest finish, and the win. Now, King of the Oki is extremely apt for Chaz because he's called Charles.
And he is known as the Prince,
45.
who is now the King.
I'm not sure how Merv would feel about that. He didn't
60.
like the fact that Corey Cadby was called King either.
$40.
This hasn't happened for Peter in this game. Hasn't found his range at all.
Well, he was hit hard in it early, and that would just sometimes can put you out of your stride a little bit, and
60.
you need to regroup because Charles has gone right off the boil.
We've talked a lot about Warwickshire tonight, and we've got 2
60.
gentlemen here who represent 2 other heavyweight counties, Hampshire and Yorkshire. We're talking about some of the monumental counties of the British inter-county scene of the last 50 years. Hampshire have had an esteemed list, and Yorkshire we could be here until next January.
143.
He's approaching 50 years of county darts, and Charles there berating himself.
40.
Did you play for any other counties?
Just Northumberland.
Just Northumberland.
Yeah, I listened to Davy Richardson, one of my early mentors, and he said you should only play for one county.
123. Chaz required
After
103.
the second season playing with him, he went to play for Cleveland.
That's Davy.
Great player, though.
Yeah, he was.
47. Peter required 146.
Well, again, Peter Jacques is being asked the question on a big finish.
96. Chaz required 56.
Well, this is dangerous because it's tops. That was a bad dart. That was offline.
36.
And so was that one.
Peter required 50.
There's maybe a twist in the tail to this one. These two had an absolutely incredible game last night.
Game shot on the third leg. Peter Jacques.
Nothing more annoying than that. Yeah, they both averaged just shy of a ton. It was 4-3 to Peter Jacques.
Fourth leg,
He
it's Chaz to
averaged
throw first.
99.83.
Game on.
2 180s, 50% on his doubles. Charles Barstow in defeat, 99.46. 2 180s himself, 3 from 9 on the doubles, and a ton plus finish.
180.
Another max.
You know, recently I saw a team sheet.
140.
It showed the results from the B squad. Chaz was in the B team. I thought, imagine if you're the person who's in the B squad looking to get better, and you're up against someone like Chaz Barstow, who's showing us right now what he can do. One of the things that he's not done is a 9-darter.
60.
Come on, Chaz.
141.
Oh, come on. You teased us.
105.
He didn't go treble 7 to leave his favourite tops, but he's on for a 10. This man has the best leg of this group so far with an 11 last night.
Required 36.
Not anymore.
Game shot on the fourth leg. Jacques Barstow.
Oh, he gets himself a 10-tarter. It's 3-1. There's a good spirit between these two. They know they're
Fifth
through,
leg,
but they
it's
still
Peach
want to
to
beat
throw
each other
first.
up.
Game on.
Yeah.
This is a great performance from Jacques Barstow. 96 the average so far. And that is after missing 7 dots at a double.
121.
All day, every day. Leads 3-1. 1 away from 4-1. Which is a little bit more
140.
You think
I'm
if
sure he
Chaz
anticipated.
feels the need, he might invite a few people to come from the Winchester area?
Oh, I would have thought so.
85.
They may come over and watch the football and then watch the darts. What a night of sport.
Well, we've got an Australian, a Kiwi,
99.
an Irishman,
A Yorkshireman.
and 3 English players.
60.
So half the field want England to win tomorrow. The other 3, I'm not really sure.
70.
Quite weird because when I watch the World Cup and any other sport where the home nations are in, I always want them to do well.
Yeah, me too.
105.
I always want Scotland to do well, and when I was living in Australia, there was no that.
140.
There was a
Peach
little rivalry
Reply,
between Australia and New
130.
Zealand, but when they were in things like the World Cup or anything like that, they always wanted the Kiwis to do well as well.
96. Charge required 52.
Strange tribal mentality.
Double top.
32.
There's been a
Peach
few
required
scruffy shots in this
34.
match.
Yeah, it was a wasted dart there, wasn't it?
I haven't seen double 17 much this week, have we?
No, they rarely hit double 17. We haven't seen very
No
much.
score.
Ever.
Charge required 20.
It's not hit there. Double 10 is
Game, shot, and the
a
match.
4-1 victory
Jacques
for Barstow. And he is getting ever closer to winning Group B again. He will be making his return to Saturday night, and he's just got an average 95.58. Jacques will also be in Saturday night, but that's a performance he probably wants to forget. He'll be back a little bit later on to play Ben Robb. But as we take this short break, we will have a little word with Chaz, as he will go up to the balcony to have a word with Abby, and we'll find out how he's feeling as we go into the second half of play here in Group B on Friday night.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where this man, Charles Barstow, has just come through with a 4-1 victory over Peter Jacques in our last match. That didn't really matter, though. You were already through to finals night. But from the outset in Group B, you've really set the tone, haven't you? Set a marker from the outset. You must be really pleased with the way you're playing. How would you assess your form overall?
I've been really pleased. Obviously, my scoring's always been good, but I'm really impressed with my finishing. I'm finishing games off quick. So,
Sorry, just a little technical error there. If you just press that again, there we go.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm finishing games off quick, so I've been really pleased with how it's been going. So yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, and when you look at the field that's qualified for finals night this week, you've got Dylan Slevin, a young 20-year-old. You've got Ray Smith, who's doing wonderful things without a tour card this year as well. How do you assess that field and look ahead to tomorrow night?
I didn't know much about Dylan, but I watched a few of his games. He's played absolutely fantastic. Obviously, Raymond is a great player anyway. Yeah, I think it's going to be tough tomorrow, no matter who I play, but I know my game's there, so I can compete with them.
And that last match, we've got a clip of it here. You took out that 138. There was a 10-dart leg in there as well. I just want to talk about that because you celebrated it quite a bit up there, didn't you? What was the story behind that?
We had a bit of a joke in the back room because Prakash had just done an 11, and he said, if you're doing another 11, you'll have to celebrate. And of course, I'd done a 10 and beat it, so I didn't know what to do. So it was a bit of an ongoing joke, but yeah, it's good.
And if you were to be critical of your game right now, there's not much to be critical about, but what areas would you say you need to work on going into tomorrow night?
Possibly my setup play. My scoring's good. I'm finishing okay. I need to be setting up shots a little bit better, but I'm quite confident. I think my game's kind of there, so...
You mentioned that confidence. You've got the confidence in your own game. We were talking off air about the football as well. So just before I let you go, I want your prediction for tomorrow night because what he told me off air, if he repeats that, quite ludicrous.
It won't be 5-0, but I think 2-1 England. 2-1 England, yeah.
Still quite ludicrous, but okay, we'll let him have that. Let's tuck in then to our next match. It is, of course, Prakash Jiwa up against Jeroen Mioch. Let's get into this one.
Yes, let's get into this one, Mace. I don't think we should be talking too much about tomorrow's football before we get there. But this one is the Netherlands against India.
I don't know if they've ever played football, have they?
Actually, that's a good point. I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't talk about football. A bit of a sore subject with the 25-year-old right now.
He looks chipper enough. It's only a game.
A really good spirit in the practice room over the last couple of nights. That's testament to all of the guys. And of course, Fallon Sherrick, the sole lady representative this week, who did play very, very well in her group to get 3rd position.
Yeah, there was some decent spells. It was interesting, the chat you had with
First
Abby
leg, it's
about
Prakash to throw first. Game on.
Preparation going in to the Worlds, of course, where she will play Ricky Evans.
Yeah.
And it was handy because there was a couple of fairly quick players as well in that group across the 2 days. So it's, apart from the fact that she did finish in 3rd, which was great.
I actually think that that's a good draw for Fallon because she knows Ricky really well, knows his game. They played youth darts together. And that kind of opponent is better for her than someone she's got absolutely no clue about.
Well, I don't think there's anything worse than you playing an unknown quantity.
91.
I much rather prefer to play someone I knew their game fairly well, and you can judge quite early then their kind of form.
134.
If they have any weaknesses, you can try and exploit them. But yeah, it'd be a fascinating game. There were certainly elements to her performances in parts where she looked very, very good, but of course it's
60.
It's all on the night or the day, of course, in the Worlds.
How do you assess, now that we've got these 2 players out, we can talk about what 100. They're going to do next. It won't be involved with us on Saturday night, but as far as Prakash is concerned, he's playing Madars Razma in the 1st round of the World
100.
Championship. How do you assess his chances against someone who's had his best season to date?
Yeah, he's going to have to, I mean, we've seen examples of his A game. He's going to have to be somewhere
58.
around that, isn't he? He's going to have to average mid to lowish 90s to give Razma anything to
You're
think
on your
about.
reply,
We know
154.
he's quite an explosive player, and his middle game isn't exactly red hot himself. So
58.
I think it very much
Prakash
could be one of
require
those that whoever
130.
gets out the blocks quick settles the quicker of the two and tries to run away with the game. But
105.
Razma will
You're only
be
requiring
a
96.
very lively favourite, but you do not want to be underestimating Prakash Jiwa.
Game shot on
We've
the
seen
first
enough
leg.
from him.
Jeroen Mioch.
Already over the course of 2 evenings that he does have a good A game in
Second
the locker.
leg, it's Jeroen
Yes, he
to
does.
throw first. Game
When you
on.
add a little bit more adrenaline through the veins, I just wonder if...
And the pressure is not going to be on him. There's absolutely no
100.
expectations apart from his own. The pressure is going to be loaded on MODUS. The last thing you want to do as a player is get dumped out by a qualifier.
I've seen Matters Razma play at the World
85.
Championship a bunch of times, and he's looked pretty edgy most of the time. And most of the time he's played there, he hasn't been the favourite. So it'll be a very
100.
different kind of pressure on him.
Yeah, a new experience. But he is the most experienced of the two, of course, without the disparity in ages, but on that stage,
99.
it is MODUS Razma who has played under those lights. But this is great prep for Prakash Jiwa. As you said, his run in this Group B is over.
139.
And for Jeroen, I'm going to be keeping an eye on him at the European Q School.
Yeah, me too.
100.
As far as Jiwa and Mioc are concerned, we're into match 6 here on Friday night as we approach the midnight hour. And neither have got a win yet. Someone's about to get that. And if Prakash was
94.
not able to get a win in this game, his last effort would be against Chaz Barstow in Game 8. And that is going to be a tough ask. He doesn't want to leave with no points
80.
in this last competitive night before he
You're
goes
only
to North
required
London.
68.
Now you will take away some maybe negative analysis. But yeah, someone's negative O has
52.
got to go in this one.
Prakash require 137.
Thank you to everybody who's been getting in touch on social media this week as
Yes,
well. We
we've
do
had
have...
some fascinating questions, haven't we?
Absolutely right. We'll wait for Jeroen to maybe take
59.
the second leg on double
You're
A
only required 16.
before we approach a
Game
question.
shot on the
Well, there
second
you go,
leg.
just like that.
Jeroen
And
Mioch.
if you do want to ask a question, you can get in touch with Nico direct on his Twitter account, which is
Third
at
leg,
the
it's
Asset
Prakash to
180.
throw first.
Or
Game
you
on.
can get in touch with us via all the social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. At
41.
MSS Darts, all one word. And don't forget to use the hashtag on Twitter, hashtag sporty stuff. But you have had quite an interesting
43.
question.
Yeah, Andy Stones has been in touch with me a couple of times this week, in fact, and I apologise to Andy for not answering this sooner. How are the week's players selected? Well, we do look at all of the different
140.
ways of getting the best talents who don't have tour cards challenged to an order of merit. With the Irish players, the
99.
INDO, so we've got 2 of those this
Dev
week.
Tour.
Yeah, World Championship qualifiers who do not have tour cards, like Prakash, like Raymond Smith, like Ben Robb. We try and find the best
140.
talent per week that is available. It does depend on availability because a lot of players are over in the Netherlands right now playing the World Masters.
Yeah.
58.
Well, a lot of UK players that possibly could have played.
And these weeks are planned well in advance.
Yeah, these are planned months ahead. And of course, with the
119.
collaboration with the ADC now, which is why we have Adam Atkinson, who has qualified. Not only is he qualified, he's qualified for finals night.
83. Prakash requires
There's
61.
some proof in the pudding that that's working. And if you want to get involved, you can. You can play in the amateur dart circuit. And earn
45.
your right to qualify directly to the MODUS Super Series. Dartsatlas.com, I do believe.
100. Prakash requires
Had
60.
a couple of efforts at double A that missed on the outside. Both missed on the inside here.
Game
but
shot on
not
the
that
third
one.
leg.
It shows he's
Prakash Jiwa.
attacking the double, Nico. Yeah, we look at
Fourth leg, it's
Pretty
Jeroen
much
to throw
everybody
first.
outside
Game
the
on.
128 tour card holders, and we also get players' representatives and management contact the MODUS Super
60.
Series to nominate their representative for a place, and then our backroom staff will do a bit of digging and see if they fit the criteria.
100.
And then they get an invite.
Boy, am I glad they found Dylan Slevin.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Chaz said in his interview with
58.
Davis on the balcony just before this match started. Didn't know anything about him. Now we do.
Oh, everybody will. He's another player I will be
119.
focusing on in January.
This is another thing about why I love being in the commentary box for this project, because
100.
we have incredible insight into what could possibly happen at Q School. And then the feed on effective Q School gives us maybe some
100.
insight into who will come here next year. So it's a little bit of a merry-go-round in the best possible way.
I have a great track record in spotting new talent and
77.
young ability. I can remember being asked to go and practice with a certain player down in Kent.
100.
Whilst I was prepping
Your own
for
last score was 77.
a World Championship performance. So it took me some convincing. I said, right, okay, let's meet up. We'll have a few hours with him. I did that, went through it. Said, look, I really want to manage this guy and sponsor him and really give him a chance. I said, listen, mate, he ain't no good. If he can't beat me, he ain't no good.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Robb Cross. Absolutely genius. Well done, Mace.
Well, we've got a
His
little,
last score was
little break in play
119.
here. I remember being in a car about 4 years ago. It might have been 5 years ago, in fact. I was on my way to Barnsley for some early year Pro Tour action, and the driver and the passenger of the car were having a heated discussion about what Robb Cross was going to do in his first season. I won't give the names away, but they had a very small wager of about £5 as to what Robb would do that year. One person said, I don't think he's going to keep his card after 2 years. And the other one said, I think he's going to do really well. Within 12 months, he was world champion.
In my defence, he was only a 20-year-old lad at the time, and don't get me wrong, there was definitely talent there.
Well, how do you think about Robb Cross's chances of being world champion for a second time?
Well, he may be just peaking at the right time. I mean, he's been playing some wonderful stuff. He'll have to have been buoyed by that performance at the Players' Championship final. It took a remarkable performance to deny him that title by Michael van Gerwen. And listen, you need a bit of luck. You need a little bit of rub. You need the right things to happen at the right time, as Michael says so often. And who knows? You'd be foolish to say he has no chance.
Yeah, what does Michael van Gerwen say most of the time? I did the right things at the right time, and that's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
You can get a tattoo of that, and that would be Michael van Gerwen's mantra. That could be on his headstone one day. I did the right things at the right time, and it was the most important thing.
His bank balance says so.
He's had a great career, and he's not finished.
I won't mind being a pimp. No, he is far from finished. Phil Taylor was still winning majors into his 57th year and beating Michael en route.
When Michael's done, you'll know about it. But he's far from done. And this game's far from done. Apologies for this break in proceedings here in leg number 4. It's currently 2-1 to Jeroen Mioch. And their scores are just being double-checked before we proceed. Charlie Costafina is in communication with our production crew to make sure that everything's good.
When this happened last time, Charles Barstow stepped in and fired in a max.
Oof. We give him the big build-up as well.
99. Prakash should require 82.
I leave 79.
You going 39? No, I thought you looked up there. I was going to say that. would be
27.
aggressive, but he played percentages and
You
then
only require
he
107.
left himself 55 instead of tops.
This is for a big hold on double 16.
75. Prakash will require 55.
I'd like to say he's only 50% in this game. He's had a lot of games where he's been better than that this week, the Dutchman.
Game shot on the
But
fourth.
he is involved in a game which is
Prakash
2-2 now. And the finishing stats are as such. 2 from 7 for Prakash. And
Fifth
there's
leg,
the
it's Prakash to
50%
throw first.
for Jeroen
Game
as we
on.
go into leg 5.
The amazing thing that started that
84.
Robb cross run was, it was his uncle, wasn't it? Get him up for a Riley's qualifier, and then we've seen him go deep in that, only
57
beaten by MVG, and then, as the saying goes, the rest is history.
Yeah, the Robb Cross story started with, come on, let's go to Norwich.
140.
And world title and a world match play, Europeans.
51.
Yeah,
Amongst many other things.
Isn't that a bad career, right?
Well, and again, it's
100.
in terms of board time or tour time, what is it, four and a bit years?
140.
In the Michael van Gerwen era, we've had some great stories. Price, Anderson.
Yeah, the rugby player nicking a few quid off the dart players.
99.
Doesn't say that anymore, does he? Don't think that interview went down pretty well with the dart players.
I think of Peter Wright winning his first world title age
140. Pressure
49.
requires 78.
That all started with a UK Open that MVG pulled out of.
Indeed.
38.
Well, Mioc's
You
going to
only
get a chance at
require
113 this
113.
time. Couldn't take the previous leg on a ton plus. Check out. How about this one? Yes, he
shot on the
can.
fifth leg.
And there is
Jeroen
another
Mioch.
sign of that great finishing from the man from the Netherlands.
He is going to take a huge amount from this. I mean,
Sixth
coming
leg, it's
into
Jeroen
this,
to throw first. Game
his
on.
annual average in recorded matches was just north of 82, and
He's better than that.
180.
oh yes, he is going to be in the mix for a card.
100.
When you think about the amount of players who are from the Netherlands playing in the World Masters this weekend, it just goes to show how many are of a decent standard.
100.
I actually thought it was the Dutch Open. It was astounding. Bo Greaves, she's actually, when you look at the
100.
Dart Connect leaderboard, men and women combined, her running average is #1 position.
She's the best player there.
140.
You know, you talked earlier about getting the best average over a month's worth of fixtures in a county. Trina Gulliver did that. She once
60.
averaged
You're only require
0.05 short of
81.
35 a dart, and she was the best player of any player, male or female. Just remember that before you start talking about other things that happened
63.
with Sherrick and Ashton. They've done great things, but Trina did great things a couple of decades ago.
Yeah, she was absolutely phenomenal.
100. You only
Frighteningly
require 18.
This has been a good performance, and he's splitting the 18. Double 4. And it's
Game,
another
shots,
win for
and the
Mioc
match,
in this group.
Jeroen Mioch.
It is his second win, and it gets him to 4 points. Jiwa will have to wait until game 8 to play his final game of the group. And if he doesn't beat Chaz Barstow, he will be at the bottom of the table and bottom of the daily standings as well. When we come back, it's going to be Peter Jacques up against Ben Robb after this very short break.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where Jeroen Mioch has just come through with a 4-2 victory to get the better of Prakash Jiwa in our last match. Two players, of course, unable to qualify for finals night now. But for Prakash Jiwa in particular, he'll want to end on a high so that he goes to Ali Pali with a bit of confidence. There were certainly elements that he could be very pleased with, but just 25% checkout success in that match. And it was the Dutchman who came away with the 2 points in that one. We can take a little look then at the league table, confirmation of the 3 players who are through, and with the games that are now remaining, 4 more matches to bring for you. It is just to determine in which order the 3 top players will finish. Next up, we've got Jacques up against Robb. Jacques took this one in a decider when the 2 players met yesterday, despite missing 25 darts at a double in that match. There were 40 missed in total in that one, but remarkably they both still managed to pluck out big 3-figure finishes. As you can see there, the 130 from Jacques to complete a 15-dart leg and a superb 146 there from Robb to return the favour and complete a 15-dart leg of his own. As I mentioned, both of these players already through to finals night, but who'll go into that with the bragging rights from this one? Let's hand back over to Nico and Mace and find out, shall we?
Yes, we hope that there will be nowhere near 40 missed darts at double in this match. I think both players would like to forget that. But I think we're pretty much guaranteed to get a better game than we had last night. And it was yesterday Jacques who got that unexpected win, but all's well that ends well, because both players will grace Saturday night after all.
Well, Ace's Aka last night was 3 out of 4. Tonight, it landed. The treble. Nico's Naps return tomorrow night. Nico will be guiding you through. Don't forget, around about 25 past 8, isn't it, on Sporty Stuff TV?
What on earth am I going to pick
first
for tomorrow?
leg is Peach
I
to
mean,
throw
come
first.
on.
Well, that's hence why I've bailed. I'm 6 from 7 and bailing. Nico's Naps. Do you like that, mate?
Yeah.
Nico's Naps.
I'm going to...
You would do a bit of work for the Sporting
100.
Sporting Life.
Sporting Life, don't you? That's a bit of a... Used to be a bit of a massive racing paper, that, is it?
Yeah, it was owned by Rupert Murdoch back in the day.
76.
It's taken it back a long time, but...
I do enjoy your articles. If you've not seen them, you can get them online, can't you?
Yep.
135.
Everything darts pretty much every week.
And I like it. It's your own take, which is how it should be. It's how you see it.
95.
And you can read that stuff all the way through the world as well.
You're doing one... you're not doing one every day?
Not quite every day.
No, I was going to say, wow.
Don't have enough
99.
No, I was going to say, how are you going to do that? Do you have some kind of time machine?
Plug myself into the Matrix every night.
That
60.
would be
Peach
interesting to see
require
what goes on in your
167.
brain. Especially after a night at the Ali Pali.
Ooh.
Game
Ooh,
shot on
what?
the first leg.
Where did that come from?
Jacques.
Yeah, a little bit of respect for that. That was a great finish. We've seen a 167 this week.
Second leg, it's
We've also had a
170.
170.
Game on.
But that was particularly sweet. Well, considering that there were 40 missed darts at double in this match yesterday.
100.
Yeah, that's how to right the wrongs. Talking of 170s, we're having a look at some of the stats throughout the year. Charles Barstow's had
134.
Has anybody got any more than that?
No.
42.
Michael Van Geerwen was here this afternoon. I'm not sure if he was having a throw.
True story.
Yep.
MVG was in the building, having a look
100.
around. He's in Portsmouth tonight. He was doing an exhibition with a few other superstars, like
100.
Raymond van Barneveld, Simon Whitlock, Fallon Sherrick.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how Fallon went. She certainly had some good prep for it this evening.
Yeah, I think she was playing against Corinne Hammond in one of her games tonight.
180.
And that is a maximum for Jacques, who seems to be
On target
on a mission.
for the everything bagel.
171.
There's the spinach.
Peach require 87.
Hello.
Game shot on the
What's
second
going
leg.
on here? This is the
Jacques.
exact antithesis of what we saw yesterday. He's doing ridiculous things. I know it's only 2 legs in, but let's have some fun, shall we? We needed to make the square bigger.
Peter Jacques is having some fun. I'm not sure Ben Robb's particularly enjoying this. Oh, my goodness.
180.
Wow.
This continues. I'm just going to leave that there.
Yeah.
We are on record watch.
Well, it stays there until it dips below the record.
9.
All right, deal.
Well, that's 9, not the kind of 9 he wanted.
100.
I said yesterday, for probably the 10th time in the last 15 weeks, that I believed that somebody would break 120 before the end of the year. I have 2 sessions left in the commentary box in order to see it firsthand.
85.
Well, to remain on target, this can take no more
60.
than 4
Peter, you
darts.
require 136.
Needs a 96 setup or a ton.
60.
So if he takes the 76 next time, he's forced to have a certain amount of darts
11
in the 4th.
There's
a bit of encouragement.
180.
And even that maximum doesn't get Ben Robb to a finish. Going to get 1 dart, a double top.
56.
And this time he misses, and you can see the average plundering by 5 points there. So it's under the record, and it has to go bye-bye for now.
81.
We need
Peter, you require
some misery
20.
music now, Nikos, with your idea of jingles and sounds.
Double 5.
Game shot on the 3rd leg. Peter Jacques.
So it's 109.98 so far, and for some reason I sounded disappointed.
4th leg, it's Ben to throw first. Game on.
What is wrong with us?
I'm a hard man to please.
Well, we've had a 180. We've had the 167 on the ball. We're currently on a ton plus average. This could be our first King of the Hockey Everything Bagel.
Go for it, Peter. Oh, handstand! Oh, that's so cruel. So cruel.
Yeah, if you don't know the rules, if the point was touching, wherever it was touching on the board is what it scores.
97.
In the words of Chandler Bing, not touching, can't get mad. Oh, so weird. He would have been on a 9.
140.
Had the other one registered a 60. But he's not going to get there, is he?
No, he's not going to break the record. He's going to maybe create a
60.
personal best.
His personal best is 101.05. I'm surprised it's not bigger.
It's not going to beat it. It's going to
57.
demolish it. If he can do the 184 in 6, it will be big average.
43.
He has really hurt Ben Robb with those early hits. He's only creeping towards the finishing line here, Peter.
40. Ben, you
Right, in terms
require
of
161.
Potential PB averages, he'd want Robb to take the 161 out.
Failing all else, just take the 144.
93. Peter, you
He actually
require
doesn't have a 170 finish,
144.
believe it or not. Peter Jacques in all of his games that he's had, but he might get the 144. Oh, no.
80.
Second dart of the leg that has
Ben, you
not
require
stayed where it
68.
could have.
Well, he still has an opportunity.
Game shot on the 4th
More
leg.
so now. He
Ben
only had
Robb.
64, so an average of it in the high 90s for Peter Jacques in that leg, which keeps his average at 104
5th leg, it's Peter
currently.
to throw
So
first. Game on.
anything 15 and under gives him a new personal best.
But the darts are starting to go
96.
under the targets.
He's beginning to, where he was playing with freedom, now beginning to think about the situation.
96.
I hate to keep bringing it up, but the finishing's a bit better than yesterday.
Yeah, just a tad.
So in this match,
4.
so far, we've had 3 misses at a double in 4 legs. More than 10 times that in yesterday's game.
Yep. He's just
140.
4 with one on the floor.
It just goes to show, doesn't it? He was hitting everything earlier.
38.
And
Everything
now,
he looked at.
no, it's as if somebody's stolen his glasses.
One of these.
133.
7-1 in leg 2, or 180 in leg 3. A 17-dart hold in leg 4, and he's on course here.
100.
to
Ben,
win
you
leg
require
5.
132.
This would be some turnaround. This would be a memorable match to win if he can go on
92.
to take this leg and the next 2.
Funnily enough, Ben's opponent next Thursday night is of the same sort of ilk as Peter Jacques, same sort of age,
85. Ben, you
same
require
sort of
40.
qualities, maybe not the same pace. So this is a good barometer of where Ben Robb
20.
may be in less than a week.
Mr. B plays Mr. Ben.
140.
Just realised
Ben, you require
50%
20.
of his name are B's.
No score. Peter, you require
No, it's
38.
wrong, actually. It's less than 50%. Don't worry, it's getting late.
Game
But that is
shot,
game shot in
and
the match to Peter Jacques.
Peter Jacques.
He really did show what he's made of earlier in that match. He was averaging well in excess of 110 for the first couple of legs, and we were on record watch for a little bit of time, but ultimately it didn't really take that long. In fact, less than 10 minutes for that game. And Jacques is the one who gets it, and he's up to 10 points in the table alongside Barstow. Robb will remain in third for now. When we come back, Barstow will play Prakash Jiwa, and that will be the last game for Prakash in his Group B action with us here this week. It's following this break.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where this man has already qualified for finals night. A 4-1 defeat to Peter Jacques in that last match. But, Ben Robb, without playing anywhere near your best, I think it's fair to say, through to finals night, sum up how you're feeling to be through.
Yeah, I'm never one to make excuses or whatever, but long flight over, changing from the morning session to the night sessions kind of threw me off a little bit. But yeah, scrapping through, taking doubles when I need like the chances I had. So I'm frustrated with my form, but confident that I'm hitting the moments when I need to.
And I was going to mention that because a lot of players actually enjoy going from playing in the morning to the evening. But for you, it was probably a bit of a hindrance, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it takes 30+ hours flying to get here. And then adjusting to that morning session was all right. And then on top of that, trying to get the body clock to the 13 hours difference from back home. So, yeah, trying to make all those things work at one go while playing darts. But I'm glad I made the final. So the finals night and being able to see if I can make it work then.
And last night in particular, not too much wrong with your game. You were just narrowly missing out, hitting the wrong side of the wire with your double. So coming into today's action, were you kind of taking the positives from the fact that you still managed to get 4 points?
Yeah, scrapping through. Quality, the boys down there are quality. So to be able to get 2 from 4, not playing my best, was good for my confidence. The scoring side of it, at the start of the week I was scoring well, but those last couple of games my scoring was going in and out, but the frustration kind of coming in, and frustration in darts is not mixed, so just trying to get over that and then work through that. So once that kind of clicks, then I'll be back at my best. Yeah,
we did see elements of that frustration coming out on stage last night, but is that you as a player, or do you normally keep that quite reserved?
Oh, I'm emotional. Everyone tells me to stop doing those kind of things, but you know, if I'm hitting big, I'm celebrating. If I'm hitting low, I was kind of frustrated, but I think the peak of my game goes further with the emotion. So it's one of those ride or die ones, going to happen or it's not, so yeah.
And certainly plenty of positives to take, especially from your Group A campaign. Going into tomorrow night, what's the mindset going to be? What are the main things you feel you need to work on going into that?
Just more killer mode and moments, setting up scores. My first 6 is pretty good, but my, you know, the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is pretty poor, to be fair, and tidy that up, I'll create chances, and these guys are world class, so if I don't do that, I ain't going to have a chance. So that's what it is for me, to tidy those up.
We certainly look forward to seeing you back in action tomorrow evening. Let's get into this next match then. 3 more to bring you. Let's hand back over to our commentary team to tuck into this one.
What a fascinating chat that was. Absolutely gripped I was listening to the big rig there. And I think we may have just found saying of the week. I need some more killer mode in my life too. Yeah, that was a fabulous interview with Ben Robb. And I just echo what you've just said to me, Chris. What a great energy that guy's got.
Yeah, and I like it. There's no delusion in there. There's just honesty, and again,
first leg, it's chance to throw first.
Sort of Southern Hemisphere mentality, isn't it? There's no BS. It's literally straight talking. This is what I need to do. I know what I need to do, and I'm going to try and do it.
59.
And in all fairness to him, I think we actually discussed it when we were talking about the time difference and the time zones. So probably the mornings
60.
Did suit where you think wherever his head was in terms of what time zone he was in, and then you're sort of hanging around and getting tired all day, and
43.
then you've got to come out and go again. But I think tomorrow, having a whole day just to relax and recharge the batteries and maybe get in a little bit earlier and just have a bit of a sharpener. And of course, he's back with his pal Raymond Smith.
Oh yeah. We will give you the group lineups at the end of the session when
97.
Ben finishes the night against Chaz Barstow. That's got delicious written all over it.
That's got the ingredients to produce. Although you almost feel
24.
Even though he showed some incredible energy there, and he's got that infectious personality, he does look a little jaded.
81.
Yeah, it's 1:30 in Auckland right now.
In the afternoon.
In the afternoon. So good time to be watching Ben play it. He's going to be going to bed soon. He's going to attempt to sleep. But it's almost bedtime for Prakash, because he's going to be the first person in this group to finish his quarter of 8 matches in the group. And unfortunately, he's not coming back
60.
on Saturday night.
Yeah, so the time zone will work out quite nicely then for our Southern Hemisphere viewers.
Yeah, if you are tuning in from New Zealand or Australia or
100.
somewhere
Charge required
down there,
161.
thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we are back tomorrow night, 10 p.m. GMT.
78. Prakash requires 77.
Or BST. Sounds like a sandwich, doesn't it?
57.
It's going to be 83 for Chaz.
83.
He could possibly get a shot at double 16 here, double 9 or the bull. Could be bullseye or double 9.
Just checking.
Oh, that was my fault. He gets a shot at nothing.
43. Prakash required 20.
Gets 3 at double 10 for a break.
Game shot on the first leg. Prakash
That went in the
Jiwa.
board with real purpose. One of the best darts he's thrown this evening. And he would love to leave us with
Second
a win
leg, it's
against
Prakash to throw first.
possibly
Game on.
the winner of this group. As it stands, Barstow's on 10 points and plus 11. Slightly ahead of Peter Jacques, who's 10 points
100.
plus 3.
Well, Charles would have to lose.
58.
He'd have to lose this one heavy and then lose heavy to Ben Robb. And Peter Jacques is up against
100.
Jeroen Mioch in the sandwiched in the middle. We have bagels, now we've got sandwiches. Anything food related.
You shouldn't be eating after
140.
7 o'clock, Mace. You know that.
Well, roll on Sunday. It's our Christmas party, and well, we have a couple of Indian chefs coming.
Stop it. I'm not going,
100.
because I can't.
I'm going to eat yours.
Yeah, I know you are. And I'm going to be getting a WhatsApp from you saying, is this yours?
133.
Do these samosas belong to you? Oh, this is delicious. See? We are having an effect on me.
139.
Stop
Charge
talking about
required
samosas and I say the word
170.
delicious. He's
Is
looking
it
for his
gonna be a
5th 170.
This one's 70 of the year. Sure is it? Plenty more away
60.
playing in
Prakash requires
the
62.
many tournaments he attends.
Double top.
Game shot
And
on the
he's
second
2-0 up.
leg. Prakash
Looking
Jiwa.
to get one back on his opponent from yesterday, where Chaz won with a
Third leg,
96.61
it's Chaz
average.
to throw first.
80% on the
Game
doubles. And Prakash could barely lay a glove on him.
Yeah, it was a very dominant performance.
180.
And Chaz isn't the kind of player that is one that will coast.
On a personal note,
60.
this is, now that we're into Saturday, this is actually our last day here this year, isn't it, Mace? And
It is.
I'd like to send a big thank you out to everybody
100.
involved in the MODUS Super Series project, everybody in the production area, all of the referees, all of the players that we've commentated on, everybody I've worked with. 2022 has been fabulous. And
58.
a very big well done to everybody who's made coming to Portsmouth happen. It wasn't an easy process. A lot of investment, a lot of effort from a lot of
82.
people. And what a year it's been for the MODUS Super Series. I am very thankful.
Yeah, what a year for well, the evolution
100.
of
Charge required
amateur darts.
139.
I echo those sentiments, Nico. A massive thank you to not just everybody involved
59.
behind the scenes, but everybody involved in front of the camera.
You know what,
including
as
all
well?
of our referees.
I'm not saying this just because you're sitting here, but a lot of people may agree with
100.
me by saying that
Charge
your win
required 80.
is the moment of the year.
Well, that's very nice to know. There'll be plenty that absolutely hated it, which brings me far more pleasure, Nico.
40.
Keep hating, keep making me money. Thanks. Hey, I may be back next year.
You heard it here first.
Never say never.
100. Charge required 40.
All those lovely backroom staff you mentioned, I'm
Game
not sure
shot on
could
the
put up
third
with me
leg.
for
Chaz
another
Barstow.
week. That's a better leg from Chaz, a 16 dart hold, but he's still a
Fourth leg,
breakdown.
it's Prakash to throw first. Game on.
I was watching a a video you did with Barzy on the online darts channel. You were fairly philosophical about
81.
your own game, and obviously with you, of course, there's a lot of physical ailments to conquer before you're back 100%.
Yeah,
58.
I don't know what it is about my body. It just doesn't want to cooperate.
You'd have treated it like I treated mine. See,
As soon as I fix one
100.
thing, something else starts to break, honestly. You know you're getting old when you can't play with no
57.
pain at all. I think, oh, right, fix that. Next day, what's that?
what's going on my hip? What's going on with the elbow, the shoulder, the neck?
100.
Wait till the eyes go, mate.
Screws with your head as well.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's the biggest pain. one between the ears.
125.
Prakash was in a great position at 2-0 up. And he's doing a very good
100.
job of getting to the finish first here in
How was that
match
not
number 8.
140?
60.
Is it going to be the Saturday night for the 43-year-olds? Because Raymond Smith and Chaz Barstow are both 43. Prime numbers. Could be a
78.
prime Saturday night for somebody. Or is it going to come good for somebody else who is a bit younger? Dylan Slevin is 20.
60.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be having
Prakash
any
Jiwa,
ailments or
42.
aches and pains. Any aches and pains he may have is carrying that big check.
Game shot on the
That's
fourth
3-1
leg.
Jiwa.
Prakash Jiwa.
If Peter Jacques wants to get top spot in the group, this is a good result for him so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fifth leg,
This
it's
is-
chance to throw first. Game
well,
on.
it worked out perfectly for everybody at the top earlier in terms of the runs of results. Trust me, this man
180.
isn't quite done yet.
He can score. Just a great 180 hitter
141.
with a dart that doesn't really make you believe that he can hit a lot of 180s, but he uses them so effectively. They land so prime.
121.
If you could think of a really good angle of attack and walk to the board and put it in there, it would be exactly the way that Barstow hits the
60.
board.
Absolutely. We are going to have maybe a novelty event next year in 23. What do
40.
you think of my idea of a pairs event?
Love it.
Like our own little Super Series World Cup.
Oh, I'd love that for just a week or maybe just for the day.
140. Charge to require
Who would you-
160.
Who would you pair it with?
Somebody really good.
Raymond Smith.
Oh, it might cost me a few quid for his flight.
41. Prakash to require
It's a
160.
great shout.
I once, during my career, I was
60. Charge to require
prince of
119.
darkness, and well, I wouldn't mind playing with Chaz as it goes, the other prince.
There you go, Chaz. You have been put on notice for any future pairs events.
99.
Prakash
Prakash to require 100.
is the only Indian player going to the World Championship, and he may be going there with a win. Right
Game,
here.
shots,
And he finishes with a win and a
Prakash
smile.
Jiwa.
And let me just congratulate him on doing that, because he has had a really tough time of it this evening. But he leaves us in the bottom two, but with a decent performance. And everybody here at the MODUS Super Series would like to wish Prakash Jiwa all the very best when he plays on the Alexandra Palace stage against Madars Razmat. Good luck, Prakash. Chaz will be back, though, and he will take on Ben Robb in Game 10. Before we get there, it's Jeroen Mioch as he plays his final game of the week up against Peter Jacques.
So then, Prakash Jiwa has rounded off his Super Series campaign with a 4-1 victory over Barstow in that last match that we saw there. We said that Prakash would want to end with a confidence-boosting win heading to the Alexandra Palace, and he's done just that against one of the standout performers of the week in Barstow. Admittedly, a below-par Barstow in that last match, but still a very good win for Prakash all the same, an average just below 89 in that victory. Up next then, we've got Jeroen Mioch up against Peter Jacques. Mioch was the 4-2 victor when these two players met yesterday, pinning 4 of his 6 attempts at double with an average just shy of 90 in that one. That was one of just 2 wins in the group for Mioch, but it'll be a tough ask for him to record number 3 if Jacques can reach the levels that he produced against Robb a little while ago. He was actually on for a record-breaking average in that one. It did drop slightly at the back end of that one, but still a very good display from Jacques. How's he going to round off his Super Series campaign in Group C? Of course, he will be returning for finals night tomorrow evening, but his Group B campaign does end here. Will he end it on 12 points? And he does, of course, have a chance to top the table if he is to get the 2 points. Let's find out then and hand back over to our commentary team for our penultimate game of this session.
Thank you, Abby. And it is our penultimate game of the session, and it's a bit of a tasty one. Mioch against Jacques. These two played our second match of the session last night, around about 10 p.m.-ish. A little later, this one, 20 to 1 in the morning in the UK. Mioch won that match 4-2 with a 89.55 and 66.6%
First leg, it's Jeroen to throw first. Game on.
Peter Jacques last time out. Well, we were on record watch, Nico.
We were on record watch for 2.5 legs. And when you consider that Jeroen Mioch did win that first game of his campaign in Group B, we thought, what a great chance for him to qualify. But he didn't win another game in the group until the game he's just played. Everything in between, not so much of what we saw from him in Group A, unfortunately.
No.
I'm disappointed for him because I think he's been very solid this week, but fine margins have found him out.
Yeah, but again, I think it's something that can be put right. Listen, there's nothing. The hardest thing is if there's something fundamentally wrong. That takes an insane amount of work. And right on cue, there's an example of his fundamentals.
There's one thing we haven't talked about as well when it comes to Jeroen. He's not going to be playing on Saturday, but because he's made a good showing here this week, I think he'll get invited back. You don't just have to do well on the Challenge Tour or the ADC or anything else to get here. If you do well when you get here, you think, oh, remember him? I wonder if he's available. I wonder if he wants to come back. And I really do like his brand of darts. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't come back.
Listen, he's 25 years of age. He seems very ambitious. And listen, he's out of this, but look at the intensity he's still playing at.
And he's had this all week in every game. Is Jacques getting away with another one?
20.
Not this time.
You're only required 2.
Work your way in.
Yeah, puts out a safe one. Edges closer.
No score.
That took a horrible deflection.
Feature required 20.
It's a thick flight doing that one. They're both using moulded stuff.
Game shot on the first leg.
And Jacques does take the lead in 17 darts to break.
7 darts at a double there for Jeroen.
Second leg, it's Peach to throw first.
Old throw.
Game on.
Every time I look at that Mioc shirt, it reminds me of Jamie Hughes.
40.
Got a bit of black country about it.
Yes, it does. I'm sure there are plenty of people watching from the West Midlands. And
60.
It's our pal's birthday today. He's 50. Our friend who lives in Dudley.
Dudley.
100.
We've got to work here tomorrow night. We can't go and see him and wish him happy birthday, but I'm sure we'll get in touch with Connor.
Yep.
39.
Lecky, a pal of mine and Nico's. Bullseye. He likes a game of darts.
22.
Happy birthday, pal. Hope you have a great one. He's got his own bar, hasn't he?
Yeah, in his garden.
Almost guaranteed to have a good one when you got your own bar.
And he's got his own tap as well. Got all this stuff on the wall, different beer mats from different parts of the world, and darts collectibles.
134.
Gorgeous little place. I went there during the Euros last year. Had
Yeah,
a couple of days with them.
Not seen him for years. I used to see a lot of him when I lived in the West Midlands, and then my parents came unwell. I had to relocate, and then we did lose touch. But I've been keep in touch.
105.
I watched the development of the bar, and now I look on with absolute envy.
Well, this is good.
171.
It's
Peter
perfect.
required 100.
Oh, how good was that first dart?
90.
The end product
only require
didn't really befit the first
132.
dart. And Mioc gets a look at 303 and 6. And he might just get it.
Drop the dart. That will ruin the rhythm.
Ooh,
107.
that was so close.
Peter required 10.
He gave it every chance.
He loves a double five. Does Peter Jacques? Well, not this time.
No
It's another one of those games
You're
where
only
people are
required
missing a lot of
25.
doubles. We've missed 16. This is like 2. Did they want to break the record from yesterday? We're
17.
on record watch again.
Peter
For
required
a very
10.
different record.
The wrong record. Surely not another
Game shot on the
match
second
with
leg.
40 missed
Peter
darts at the
Jacques.
double, but Peter Jacques with a 23 darter holds throw to lead 2-0.
Third leg, it's your own to throw
Oh,
first.
nearly halfway.
Game on.
19 misses.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 legs deep. We could actually have 5 more legs.
80.
Stop it, Nico.
I wonder what the record is for the most missed darts at double in a match.
84.
I'm going to find out.
We're definitely tired.
57. $180.
180. Number 2 for Peter.
40.
It's 180, number 3 in the match. And we had that wonderful 171 to set up the 132 from Jeroen Mioch.
81.
I do believe that stat is incoming, by the way.
140.
Yeah, you've gone to
Peter
the
required
supercomputer.
I have put a memo in the tube and have sent it down the tube. And in the words of Monty
100.
Burns, the tube will know what to do. Jacques is going to go for a slightly more clinical kill here.
56.
He needs a bit of Ben Robb. He needs to find a bit more killer mode.
46.
He's having
You
a
only require
doubling
140.
disaster.
And he's still 2-0 up.
Yeah, 2 from 13, 11 missed. None from 10 for the Dutchman.
42. Peter required 10.
Oh, double 5 again. Is that too close?
Game
Nope.
shot on the third
3-0
leg.
Jacques.
Peter Jacques.
Mioc on the verge of seeing the exit door.
Fourth leg, it's Peter to throw first. Game on.
Well, on behalf of everybody here, I've enjoyed his debut week here at the Super Series at the MODUS Live Lounge.
60.
Wish him a wonderful Christmas and a prosperous New Year, especially when he goes to Q School.
121.
I do believe the idea of St. Nicholas actually was Dutch. I was reading up on it a few
59.
days ago. I was really intrigued by it. Yeah, but it was Santa Claus. I do believe St. Nicholas came from more southern part of Europe. There's loads of different stories. We haven't got enough time for that. But I echo those sentiments. I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing that will make things a bit sweeter by the end of tomorrow's session is an extra £5,000. Jacques could do that for the second time in 2 Super Series. Mioc's on double 12.
117.
Jacques could finish the job on 142, which is one more point than Mioc has just missed.
60. You're only required 24.
He's already missed 11 darts at double.
Game shot on the 4th leg.
There he has his first hit out of 13.
It is a 14 darter to break through.
5th leg, it's Jeroen to throw first. Game on.
Wow.
180.
Well, I do have it on good authority that the most amount of doubles missed by a single player in one match is 29.
82.
So Peter didn't break that record yesterday. It was only 25.
Good effort.
57.
If I'd have known that, I'd have gone for it. Have a record, mate.
He didn't have that luxury because Ben Robb was on his tail.
60.
Ben Robb is coming in the last match of the session. He'll take on Chaz Barstow as they look to finish up Group B.
100.
Now we have an answer.
125.
40's nowhere near the record.
You're required 164.
Wow. Somewhere logged in the minefield of matter between my ears. I do know this because I either did it or I did a match that went close.
I'd love to watch this match back. It was Paul Hogan and Danny Smith.
96. You're only required
Paul Hogan
36.
missed 27. Danny Smith missed 29. 56 in total. 56?
Wow.
16
Game
more
shot
than
on
that
the
match
5th
from
leg.
yesterday.
Jeroen Mioch.
Well, it is 2 from 16 now for Jeroen. And he's now within one of his opponent in the score sheet.
Throw first. Game on.
What he's made of here. Prakash signed off with a great performance against Chaz Barstow.
131.
And from 2-0 down here, Jeroen has gone 14 and 15, including a max in leg 5.
If Jeroen gets one leg here
81.
to get to 3-3, he'll make sure that he's not bottom of the table. Based on the leg difference he's got in this Group B table. If he was to lose 4-2, he'd
40.
actually have the same points and the same leg difference. It would come down to something else to see who's bottom.
93.
Nobody wants the wooden spoon.
Oh, no.
But strangely, the last time I was in Portsmouth, I had a little jaunt
41.
to Gun Wharf on Saturday. You know what I came back with?
Something for the kitchen.
Yeah. And do you know me or something? I actually bought a cast iron trivet and a wooden spoon. That's a true story.
You're so rock and roll, Nico.
I know, right?
Last time I went down there, I'd done my brains in the Hugo Boss shop.
Oh, he can't get into the 2-dot range, which means that Jacques is a firm favourite to get it done. He might even do it right here. Oh, he might not. He definitely doesn't.
You only require 133.
It's actually quite close to a foul dart there.
$83. Peter required 32.
Double 16 to get to 12 points.
Game,
And he's
shots,
done.
and the match.
So that means
Peter
that
Chase.
Chaz Barstow will have to win his final game against Ben Robb to win the group. If he doesn't, Peter Jacques will be top. But we have it on good authority now that Jeroen Mioch on legs 1 has finished in 4th. So Prakash Jiwa has got the 5th position to himself. A great Group B campaign will come to a climax when we come back after the break with Robb against Barstow. Don't miss it.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where this man stood next to me has just rounded off his Group B campaign with another victory. 12 points for you in Group B. You go into finals night with a lot of confidence. You were just saying, though, after you knew you were through, it was quite difficult to get up for a few of your matches. Quite difficult to believe that, given the performance you put in against Ben Robb.
That's probably because I wasn't thinking as much here, just a case of throwing him. But me and Chaz knew that if Ben won that game, all three of us were through, and it didn't stop Chaz. He just went up and played phenomenal. He's a great player, isn't he? So but I found it a bit, just adrenaline just came out. But we're there, so we start again tomorrow now and focus on tomorrow, really.
And overall, how would you sum up your Group B campaign?
With the tough group we've had, I'm very happy with that. So 5 great players. I mean, this week alone, there's been 12 great players. So to come through it and get through to finals night, can't be more pleased than that.
And I know you won't want to reflect on it too much, but the last time you were here, of course, in Champions Week, missing out on finals night in the manner that you did, losing that match to Lee Evans. How difficult was that one to take for you?
Yeah, you've got to take them on board and then try to come back from them, haven't you? Them knocks sometimes make you a bit stronger. So Lee did what he had to do, and he got through, and fair play with him. So it's, for me, it's you learn from that, come back stronger.
And that's something you could use then as motivation when you came back here this week, I guess.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Yeah, definitely. You want to play and get through and play with the best. It's simple as that. So that's it.
Indeed, and you mentioned the field in Group B. Looking ahead to tomorrow's finals night, another cracking lineup. Ray Smith is in there. Another youngster in Dylan Slevin as well coming through, just 20 years of age. He's put in some really impressive performances. It's going to be another difficult one, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Another young man that's been unearthed. But when you're getting the opportunities we're getting like here, if you're not in that 128 and you're getting opportunities like this, these young lads are going to be hungry for it, and fair play to them, I say. Bring them on. Us all lads. There's still life in us all dogs yet still.
There certainly is, and you've proven that this week. Let's get into our final match of this evening session then. It is Ben Robb up against Chaz Barstow. Chaz Barstow needs a victory if he is to top the group ahead of this man.
What a sensational interview and a great insight into the thoughts of Peter Jacques, who will return in pretty much exactly 19 hours from now. We've just hit 1 o'clock in the morning, and at 10 p.m. we will be back live on Sporty Stuff TV to show you the Week 7 finals, which will involve these two guys as well.
Yep, and the man that was just being interviewed by Abby, and of course, Adam Atkinson, Dylan Slevin, and the guy that's enjoyed a couple of days off and enjoying the
First
sights
leg,
of
it's Ben to throw
Portsmouth and
first.
the wonderful weather that we have in the UK right now.
Do you know what
Raymond Smith?
Do you know what Raymond Smith looks like in winter gear? He looks like Maggie
85.
Simpson in her winter starfish costume. Because she looks ready for the cold, but it just doesn't feel
58.
right.
Yeah,
I think Raymond's a bit more comfortable with a singlet, shorts, and some thongs on. If you're not sure,
yeah, they're not.
thongs are
100.
flip-flops in Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, I couldn't see. No, I'm not going there.
Like Abby mentioned, a win in this
60.
game for Chaz, which would be him doing the double over Ben Robb, would see him win the group on leg difference. He currently sits on 10 points.
140.
And a leg difference of +8, which is 3 better than Peter. So he just simply has to get the 4 legs.
140.
If we do have a Ben Robb win, it will be 2 players on 10 points and Jacques on 12. And it would mean that his
140.
position would change as far as his group is concerned on Saturday night.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it away, actually. I'm going
Ben, you require
entice
36.
you until the end of the show, but we'll find out who's playing who with
Game
Abby
shot on
after
the
this.
first
And it's
leg.
first blood Ben Robb
Robb.
as he takes the first leg on throw in 14 darts. Pretty good.
Very tidy.
Second leg, it's Chaz to
Couple
throw
of
first. Game on.
140s in a ton in the leg. Oaken Barstow respond.
140.
There's another permutation in this game that I've just been made aware of. If Ben can win 4-0, he'd finish in second.
24.
And wherever you, the reason Nico is informing you of these permutations, because wherever you finish in this group will
140.
affect which group you go into in tomorrow night's final. Remember, it's 2 groups of 3 tomorrow night. You play
57.
the other 2 people in that group, and then the top 2 from each of the 2 groups make up the semi-finals.
100.
And leg difference, again, will play its part.
Are you smelling a 9-dart shootout tonight? Because I can feel it.
Charge require
I think it's
121.
going to happen. How about a 1-2-1 out? Double 18.
103.
139 and a 138. And a 167 from Peter Jacques. We've had a 113 from Jeroen.
140.
And a 114
Charge
from
require
Ben Robb.
18.
I think the ton plus shooting on the finishing has been a lot better than Group C.
14.
They had 2 in
Ben, you
15
require
games today.
100.
And both from the same person.
Yeah, both from Fallon Sherrick. I went for the 60 instead of the tops. I think he did the right thing there.
60.
Agreed. It looked a
Charge
good
to
guide in the
require
way his
4.
darts bump in from above. That was the right shout.
Got to go for it. Come on, he says.
No
He
score.
didn't really scare it.
Ben, you
For the
require
big rig
40.
to double his lead.
Yeah, didn't even attack the double, did he?
Game shot on the second leg. Ben Robb.
He's averaging exactly 100.20 after using
Third leg, it's Ben to throw
30
first.
darts.
Game on.
to win the opening 2 legs. This is tidy. 2 out of 3 on the doubles, so 180, 3 140s.
60.
In ordinary circumstances, you know, if Ben was playing on a Saturday night here with Raymond Smith and the others, Damon Heta would come
95.
down and support because he's really good pals with Ben. He may have his own commitments. He's got his own stuff to do ahead of a World Championship challenge.
47.
Different if it was just down the road, but they're up in Leicester,
Leicester,
aren't
yeah.
they? Yeah, and in this weather, probably safer staying at home.
140.
Watching from the comfort of his armchair.
Yeah, it's definitely the right thing to do, I think. If you can, from the local area, come down
42.
safely, please do so. Go to dartshop.tv and you can enjoy the football here as well on Saturday night prior to the 10 o'clock start in the Week 7 finals.
It's a proper Super Saturday. Massive football match followed by the Arrows. What more could you want?
Super Series Saturday.
134.
Well,
Chance to require 86.
A somewhat angry leg in response to losing leg 2.
Yeah, couldn't really do a lot about leg
46.
1. Tees up tops after just 12. He would have had
60.
to have found
Chance
a
to
12 darter
require
in leg 1 to
40.
trouble Ben Robb, who went at him 14.
He does a lot of looking at the monitor, doesn't he? Always somewhat
30.
second-guessing himself about what he's going for.
Yeah, I don't.
Ben, you
a player
require
of his experience,
158.
I honestly don't get it because I look, I know what you want, I know what I want. I don't have to look again.
Be a bit more Olivia Newton-John.
98.
You're the one that
Chance
I
to
want.
require 10.
And that's the one that he wants.
Game
There you
shot on
go.
the third leg. Chaz Barstow.
Is eventually an 18 dart break of throw.
Has there
Fourth leg, it's
been
Chaz to
anybody
throw
this week
first.
who hasn't got on with Ben Robb?
Game on.
Honestly, he could make best friends on the moon.
Yeah, he's just got that lovely, infectious personality. Always smiling, always enjoying the darts.
180.
Just listening to that interview a little bit earlier, that killer mode. When it's game on, it's game on.
81.
When it's not, he seems to be one of those BFG kind of guys.
140.
There was a moment there that we were
43.
5 deep. We didn't mention it, we just didn't want to jinx it.
Yeah, we're a bit like that, the two of us. Don't mention it until they get
100.
dart 6 in. Sometimes even dart 8.
And of course, you only actually
58.
miss a
Chance to
9 when you miss the
require
dart at a
81.
double.
I was on a 9 last week. I hit the first treble 20.
44 left, so a 4 for tops.
41.
You've had 10 9-dart legs now. But
Yep.
only one under this roof.
Into double figures. We've got
96. Chance to
reams and
require
reams of
40.
tens.
We've got 2 from Conor
Game shot on
Heenan,
the fourth leg.
2 from James
Chaz
Richardson, 2
Barstow.
from Martin Adams. So it's Osborne, Usher, Van Tripe and Burnett.
Fifth leg,
It's only
it's Ben
4
to throw
players who've got
first.
one
Game on.
9-darter. So that makes...
James Richardson.
That's 7 players who've had a 9-darter.
Yep. James Richardson was
139.
against his boy Josh in the deciding leg of their match.
Yeah,
Brutal.
family sympathy.
134.
He was the first person to hit one in phase 1 of 2021.
121.
Closely followed by Richie Burnett and then Colin Osborne. And Osborne's already through to Champions Week here in Super Series 2
60.
because he won week 4.
Wasn't Martin's first one done in his back room at home?
Yeah, he beat James Hubbard, I believe, and hit a 9-darter.
96.
And then Aaron Monk hit a 9-darter from his home. But I haven't actually counted those ones on top of the ones that we've seen the last couple of years. So technically,
140.
since we started during the pandemic, we've had
145.
12.
He scored, 65 remaining. That leaves tops.
105. Charge required,
Solid leg from both.
167.
Seen one of these tonight from Peter Jacques. And another.
Game shot
Oh,
in
it's
the fifth
another
leg.
one.
Chaz Barstow.
One of the best finishes we've seen all week. That was an absolute ripper.
Sixth leg, it's Chaz to throw
Like
first.
a bit of Southern Hemisphere
Game
twang.
on.
Love it.
That was a ripper.
That was 12 darter. Ben Robb did little wrong.
Oh,
Left tops after 12 himself.
100.
that was a proper leg of darts. Well, one thing we do know now is that Ben Robb is going to be 3rd in the table. So that's where he's
43.
positioned for the Saturday night draw. But only one thing is left. And it's if Chaz gets one more leg, he wins the group.
140.
I wonder how much Ben Robb knew about Chaz Barstow before.
He mentioned a bit earlier in the
99.
week that he watches a lot of this.
Well, he
I
would-
think he knows Chaz's capabilities. He knows a little bit better now, having played him.
100.
No, he is after that 167. That will live long in the memory. So will
180. Charge required,
Both
161.
have 2 180s apiece. Well, he can't, surely.
Game,
Oh, he
shots, and the
You
match.
better believe
Chaz
it.
Barstow.
A 167 backed up with a 161 back-to-back 12-dart legs for Chaz Barstow against Ben Robb. He was 2-0 down, with Ben Robb averaging exactly 100 after the opening 2 legs. The response from Barstow, 18-13, 12-12, the 167 followed by the 161, and that confirms Chaz Barstow is the winner of Group B. Dylan Slevin, the winner of Group C. Adam Atkinson in 2nd position. And, of course, it was Raymond Smith who has won Group A. We're going to go up to the balcony, and this is where we'll find out the 2 groups for tomorrow night's final.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mace. Nico, before we get on to the groups for tomorrow night, that performance and the finishing from Chaz Barstow then, he's been putting down a bit of a marker in Group B since we got underway. That was a statement going into tomorrow night.
This is the face of shock. Mr. Friday night. He does this. He gets motivation, and he obviously loves to play against Ben. He feeds off the really good energy. 2 massive finishes, and let's face it, he's going to go into Saturday night with a lot of confidence because of that. And it just so happens that he might come up against him in the group as well.
Yes, indeed. We can have a look then at the 2 groups for finals night. And as Nico just mentioned, it does see Chaz Barstow in the same group as Ben Robb. Dylan Slevin in there as well. What a phenomenal group. And then you look at Group 1, Smith, Atkinson and Jake. So it's a really, really phenomenal night in prospect. But it's Group 2, isn't it, that really gets the juices flowing?
Yeah, I'm looking at Raymond Smith, Atkinson and Jacques, and I think Smith is going to be happy with that, considering what he's just seen and what he's seen from Dylan Slevin as well. Group 2 for me is absolutely delicious. Can't wait to see that, and they're going to start 2nd tomorrow night because Group 1 will have the first game, so it will be first blood to Group 1, but that's a great Saturday night, and I hope everybody can join us.
Yeah, who's your favourite to come through that field tomorrow night?
I'm not going to lie, I've got to go with Raymond Smith, considering what I've seen from him this week. but I think the explosive final could potentially be, oh, anybody versus Raymond Smith, really, from Group 2.
Yeah, I can say with some certainty it won't be me or you against him, though, so it will be one of the others. But we're really, really looking forward to getting that underway. There are still tickets available. If you'd like to be here tomorrow night, just visit dartshop.tv. We will have the football on prior to the darting action getting underway. You do not want to miss it. From 10 p.m. tomorrow, we get finals night underway. We look forward to seeing you then.